Dragon Ball GT is the sequel to Dragon Ball Z and first aired domestically in 1996. Despite being a continuation of the Dragon Ball franchise, GT received mixed reviews from fans and critics alike. Some fans criticised the show for its lack of character development and inconsistent pacing, while others praised it for its new ideas and fresh take on the Dragon Ball universe. The mixed reception of Dragon Ball GT can be attributed to its departure from the original formula of Z and the high expectations set by its predecessor. GT takes place, as cited in the dub, 10 years after the events of Z and begins with an accidental wish made by Emperor Pilaf to turn Goku back into a child using the Black Star Dragon Balls. This leads to a quest to recover the Black Star Dragon Balls before the Earth explodes in 1 year. In this video, I'm going to provide you with an in-depth overview of Dragon Ball GT and share my overall thoughts towards the end. If you enjoy this sort of content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. For those of you short on time, I've included timestamps in the description box below. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. We pick up the story 10 years after Goku left the War Tournament to train Oob as his pupil. With Oob's training now complete, he returns to his village, while Goku stumbles upon some old faces in Pilaf, Shu and Mai, who secretly enter the God's Temple to steal a new set of Dragon Balls known as the Black Star Dragon Balls. This set of Dragon Balls are much more powerful than those created later by the Namekians. After finding the Black Star Dragon Balls, Pilaf summons a red Shenron, which is 10 times the size of the Shenron we are familiar with. Goku interrupts Pilaf while he's in the process of making his wish. Startled, Pilaf accidentally wishes that Goku becomes small enough for him to beat. The dragon grants this wish, turning Goku into a child. The Dragon Balls scatter, but instead of being spread throughout the world, they are scattered throughout the universe. In addition to this, the use of these balls comes with a dangerous consequence. If they are not gathered within 1 year, the planet on which the wish was made will explode. After learning about the wish and the consequences of using the Black Star Dragon Balls, Bulma quickly builds a spaceship. Goku leaves to pass the time and is kidnapped by a pair who mistake him for Bulma's grandson. The kidnappers demand Bulma hand over a large amount of money in exchange for his life, but Goku easily escapes capture. Meanwhile, Vegeta forces Trunks and Goten to accompany Goku on the journey into space, thinking it would be good training for them. However, Goten gets a phone call at the last minute and takes it outside while Goku and Trunks enter the ship. The two are surprised when they find Pan on board. Excitedly, Pan presses the launch button, leaving Goten behind. As Goku, Trunks and Pan travel through space, their spaceship begins to malfunction. They look outside and see that a part of it has detached. Due to the state of the ship, they have no choice but to land on a nearby planet called Imeka. Upon their arrival, they discover that the people of this planet are willing to do anything to extort money from the group. They find themselves staying in a hotel where they are charged for everything and end up fleeing the place. The group meets a destitute Imekian couple who are evicted from their homes by robots. The next morning, Trunks sees that their spaceship is being towed away, and the group encounters a small robot named Giru who proceeds to eat the Dragon Radar. Following the confiscation of their spaceship, Goku, Pan, Trunks and Giru find themselves stranded on planet Imeka and begin to devise a plan to get their spaceship back. Goku is unable to use instant transmission due to his small body lacking the amount of ki needed to perform the technique, so they decide to fly over to Don Ki's palace. Don Ki is the tyrant ruler of planet Imeka. As soon as they arrive, they spot their ship, but it's heavily guarded by Don Ki's army. As Goku and his friends approach it, the soldiers notice them. They're left with no choice but to take out the soldiers one by one. Pan proceeds to take control of the spaceship before escaping with Goku and Trunks. Don Ki is furious after he hears what the trio has done, plus they owe him a large debt already. By the next morning, the three walk into town and notice that there are wanted posters of them posted across the entire town, effectively making them fugitives. The trio decide they must lay low. However, after meeting with the Namekian couple and talking about the greed of their planet's ruler, the Saiyans decide that they must confront him. By feigning surrender, they manage to infiltrate Don Ki's palace, but his bodyguards block their path. They easily dispatch of the bodyguards. However, Don Ki's ace Legic appears. Legic easily incapacitates Pan and Trunks, leaving Goku as the last one standing. In order to overcome Legic, Goku is forced to use his Super Saiyan form. Having been defeated, Legic is ready to meet his fate, but in typical Goku fashion, he spares Legic, wishing for his new rival to become stronger to fight again someday. Legic leaves Donkey's side, leading the king to eventually surrender and return all the money that he had stolen from the Namekian people. Trunks finally gets hold of the part needed to fix their ship, and as they're preparing to leave, they soon find out that Giru has integrated the Dragon Radar into his system. When Giru locates the first Black Star Dragon Ball, they decide to take him with them. Barely escaping a mecha with their lives, Goku, Trunks and Pan land on Monmasu, a planet that is quite reminiscent of Earth, except everything is 100 times the normal size. With Giru, Trunks is on the search for the next Black Star Dragon Ball. His search leads him to Goku, and they find the 4-star Black Star Dragon Ball, but their luck takes a turn for the worse when a ginormous apple falls on the ball. Before they have a chance to lift up the apple and get the ball, a giant hawk grabs hold of the apple and hands it over to its giant master. Goku and Trunks' attention is diverted towards Pan, who finds herself having been taken hostage by a group of bees who believe that she is their queen. As she attempts to leave, a swarm of bees chase after her. She runs into Goku and Trunks, who had, in fact, just saved the real queen bee from a hungry spider. With the real queen bee having been returned to her hive, the trio proceeds forward to retrieve the 4-star Dragon Ball. Goku catches whiff of delicious smelling fish being cooked in the distance and heads toward the direction of the smell. He's surprised to see the giant, as well as the Dragon Ball still stuck in the apple. When the giant eats the apple, the Dragon Ball gets lodged in his tooth and causes him a great deal of pain. Goku manages to make his way inside the giant's mouth and dislodges it using the Kamehameha technique. With the 4-star Dragon Ball now in their possession, they next arrive on a peaceful planet named Galbo, but notice the villagers are way too quiet. When they begin investigating, they learn from the villagers that a giant monster, Zunama, has been terrorizing their village with his ability to produce earthquakes. To make matters worse, the monster is demanding a bride. None of the female villagers are willing to be his bride, so the planet seems doomed to them. One of the women, Lena, who has a Black Star Dragon Ball embedded in her hair, steps forward for the sake of the village and offers herself up to be Zunama's bride, even though she's already engaged to be married. This excites Zunama, and he leaves but promises to come back and take her to his lair the following day. Lena soon realizes the repercussions of the decision she made and faints. Goku, Trunks, and Pan offer to help the villagers get rid of the problem with Zunama in exchange for the Dragon Ball, which Lena agrees to. Pan decides that the best idea is to set Zunama up with a fake bride and cut off his whiskers, which are what enable him to create the earthquakes. She first picks Goku as he's the strongest, but then realizes he's way too short. This leaves Trunks to pose as Zunama's bride, much to his dismay. However, he agrees to go along with the plan because he wants to save the Earth. By morning, Trunks, who's dressed in the wedding dress with a wig and makeup now referred to as Trunkset, is taken by Zunama to his lair, with Goku, Pan, and Lena's fiancée Doma following. As Trunks poses as Zunama's bride in an attempt to gain access to the monster's lair under a volcano, his wig falls off. Funnily enough, Zunama is still interested in Trunks, believing him to be a short-haired girl. Trunks manages to spike Zunama's food with a drug. After consuming the food, Zunama passes out and Doma cuts off one of his whiskers. Zunama regains consciousness and threatens to cause an earthquake. The group realizes Zunama cannot actually cause earthquakes but merely predicts them. Suddenly, a real explosion occurs caused by a nearby volcano, and Goku uses a Kamehameha to propel them out of the tunnel. He launches another Kamehameha to destroy the volcano, thus putting a stop to the explosion. The Galboians give them the 6-star Dragon Ball, but a mysterious stranger disguised as a villager takes the ball, transforms into another species, and disappears in his spaceship. It's safe to say that the trio cannot catch a break. They begin to chase after the 3 Para brothers, one of whom stole their Dragon Ball. The brothers lead them to a rocky planet named Bihei. which at the center is a maze of caves. They escape and return to planet Lude, leaving Goku, Trunks and Pan lost in the maze. Upon the Power Brothers' arrival to planet Lude, they hand over the Dragon Ball to Cardinal Muchi Muchi, the servant of Lord Lude. Instead of giving them a reward, the Cardinal is angry with the Power Brothers because he knows that the ones they stole the Dragon Ball from had another Dragon Ball aboard their ship, so he tells them to retrieve it or he'll turn them into dolls. The brothers return to Bihei. When they find Goku and the others, who are otherwise preoccupied fending off a pack of Moma, 4 giant worm monsters that are trying to devour them, the brothers take this opportunity to sneak onto their ship in order to steal the Black Star Dragon Ball, but upon boarding the ship they are unable to locate it. Goku is able to turn the tables on the Moma. After giving advice to Trunks and Pan, they are able to defeat the remainder of them. The brothers reveal themselves and begin to perform their Para Para Boogie technique, which puts Goku, Trunks and Pan into a dancing trance that they cannot break free from. One of the brothers, Bon Para, pinches Pan's cheeks to make her smile while she dances, as he continues to pummel them. The Momo worms regain consciousness and provide a distraction by turning off the music. The trio take this opportunity to knock out the Power Brothers and then board their ship to locate the Black Star Dragon Ball, but they're unable to find it. Giru, who's still on board with Pan, accidentally launches the ship to planet Lude, leaving Goku and Trunks behind on Bihei with their spaceship. Pan and Giru land on planet Lude and they find the location of the 6-star Dragon Ball. The Power Brothers tell Goku and Trunks where their ship went, and they follow closely after them. Pan goes into the castle, but Giru, being too scared, flies away. Giru finds Trunks, Goku and the Power Brothers and tells them where Pan went. Pan fights her way into the main chamber and grabs the Dragon Ball, but Cardinal Muchi stops her by turning her into a doll. Before Muchi can throw her into a giant cauldron, Trunks and Goku show up. Furious at the Power Brothers, the Cardinal turns them into dolls and disposes of them. He attacks Goku and Trunks before sending out a giant robotic lion on the pair. Goku drops a giant boulder on it after firing a ki blast at the side of the wall. The resulting explosion destroys Cardinal Muchi, but they're shocked when his whip transforms into his true form. Meanwhile, the doll version of Pan is found by Giru but is soon kicked away and picked up instead by Doltaki. Muchi proves to be a powerful opponent, giving trouble to both Goku and Trunks, separating the pair to focus his attacks on Goku. This leaves Goku with no other choice but to transform into a Super Saiyan. Doltaki is analysing the fight between Muchi and Goku. Realising that Muchi cannot win now, Doltaki opts for awakening Lord Lude, but he then realises that he doesn't have the necessary energy required to do so. He then encourages the Lude cult to sacrifice themselves, promising that they'll become one with Lude and gain immortality. Too late, the cult realises Lude is not the saviour they imagined, and Doltaki transforms them all into dolls, using their power to awaken Lude. Meanwhile, Goku continues battling Muchi, but begins to lose the upper hand when Muchi grabs him and starts to absorb his energy. Reverting to his base state, Goku appears to be in trouble until Trunks reappears and blasts Muchi with an energy attack, finally destroying the Cardinal. The two return to the castle to find Pan, but instead discover the Dragon Ball. At that moment, Doltaki appears and summons Lord Lude. Goku and Trunks now stand before the awakened Lude, both amazed at his power. Doltaki escapes, and Lude prevents Goku and Trunks from rescuing Pan. Goku taunts the machine, which chases after him. Goku launches a Kamehameha which proves ineffective. Lude knocks down both Goku and Trunks and steps on them. The pair transform into Super Saiyans in order to gain the strength necessary to throw him off. Meanwhile, as Doltaki is playing dress up with his new favourite doll, Pan, he's suddenly summoned into a secret room by an unknown voice. There, Doltaki speaks to Dr. Mew through a screen, revealing the scientist behind it all. Dr. Mew scolds Doltaki for awakening Lude before he was at full power, as Lude is losing. Goku notes that while the monster's power is amazing, it doesn't know how to use it, allowing Goku and Trunks to eventually subdue Lude. Dr. Mew notices an incredible power coming from Pan and orders Doltaki to allow Lud to absorb her so Lud can evolve and reach his full power. Doltaki refuses to give up Pan, leading Dr. Mew to turn him into a doll and feed both him and Pan to Lud. This sacrifice brings the machine mutant to full power. While Goku and Trunks struggle against the now level 3 Lud, inside the creature, Pan is battering Doltaki because of the harassment she endured as a doll. Doltaki reveals there's only one way out, but realizes the consequences will be dire. The Para brothers, also trapped inside, force him to reveal the secret to escaping their mechanical prison. Lud was built around a single red cell, and the destruction of this cell would end the machine mutant. As Goku is on the cusp of losing, Pan, in order to help, fires a ki blast at Lud's red cell. Doltaki explains that Lud needs to be attacked from inside and out, so working together with Goku and Trunks is crucial for their plan to work. The brothers then start to sing, using their telepathy to communicate the plan with Goku and Trunks. Goku and Pan struggle to get the timing right due to being out of sync. By chanting Pepper Pot, Pickle Pot, Purple Pot, they are able to nail down their timing and successfully destroy Lud. Giru detects another Black Star Dragon Ball, this time on the planet called Radice. As the group flies to the planet, Trunks suggests going back to Earth to replace Pan with Goten, which upsets her. When they land, they are overwhelmed by the desert's heat, and soon after, a giant centipede attacks them, damaging their ship and causing its water tank to spill out. While Trunks is fixing it, Pan attempts to help, but Trunks tells her to go play inside the ship. This enrages Pan, and she storms off into the desert in search of the Dragon Ball to prove she's not just a child and is actually useful. Due to the elements, Pan succumbs to dehydration and heat exhaustion. To make matters worse, she is attacked by another centipede. However, Giru, who had followed her, arrives just in time and fends off the creature, saving her. When she comes to, she finds out that he'd not only saved her but also found the 5-star ball along with water. Pan thanks Giru and apologizes for treating him badly up to this point. Goku and Trunks arrive. They find a nearby oasis and use the water to refill the broken cooling tanks. They ultimately reconsider replacing Pan, with Trunks apologizing for his comment and reaffirming to her that she's an important part and valued member of the team. Meanwhile, Doltaki returns to Planet M2 to report to Dr. Mew, but instead he's greeted by General Rodo, who dispatches him for his failure. On their journey through space, Giru repeatedly defeats Pan at a video game, clearly displaying the bond they've formed over the course of their journey. They fly past Planet M2, which is Giru's home planet. Giru and Pan convince Trunks to land there, since Giru hasn't been there in years. On the planet's surface, General Rodo tracks Goku and the other spaceship. When he spots it, he commends Giru for bringing the group and the 2 Black Star Dragon Balls to him. Having landed in a forest, Goku, Trunks and Pan walk into a city where thousands of robots, which look like Giru, appear. They all seem to know Giru and commend him. Giru takes off alone, where he's contacted by General Rodo, who praises the robot's strategy of infiltrating the trio, gaining their trust and then bringing them to their planet. Seemingly revealed to be a traitor from the start, Giru returns to the others. Goku, Trunks and Pan get hungry, so they go in search of food. They're confronted by a group of powerful robots who call themselves the Sigma Force. Giru jumps up to the platform they're on to join them. One of the robots disintegrates, then reforms around Goku and Trunks, trapping them. Heartbroken, Pan curses Giru for betraying them. The robots, including Giru, fly away to General Rodo, leaving behind a distraught Pan. With Goku and Trunks captured, Pan must infiltrate the machine base. She manages to get close without being detected, but then many robots show up. To avoid being captured, Pan disguises herself as a robot. Goku and Trunks, placed asleep within the capsule chambers, have their bodies scanned by the robots trying to calculate their strength levels. General Rodo arrives and realizes Pan is not there, so he orders a group of robots to search for her. Giru lets General Rodo download all the fighting information of the Z Fighters to the Mega Cannon Sigma Force. Meanwhile, Pan joins a group of robots, but when they walk through a wall, her cover is blown. She locks out and instead of being captured is accused of being defective. They throw her into a room full of defective robots who are deemed defective because they actually have feelings. Pan blasts her way out and gets directions to where Goku and Trunks are being held. It doesn't take long for General Rosa to figure out that Pan is in the base. He sends Nat of the Sigma Force to deal with her. The robot locates Pan and easily has the upper hand until Pan figures out that he can only predict moves she has done before. She opts to use her most powerful technique, the Maiden's Rage, firing it at the robot and destroying it. Just as General Rosa is about to send the rest of the force to deal with Pan, she breaks in and reveals herself. At the same time, the machine detections start to go haywire as Goku begins to wake up. The remaining Sigma Force members mock Pan after knocking her unconscious, but also congratulate her on destroying Nat, the first ever Sigma Force member to be destroyed. Goku's had enough and challenges the Sigma Force to a battle. While Goku battles the Sigma Force, Trunks takes Pan to their spaceship to recover. Goku appears to be outmatched at first, as the Sigma Force has all his moves downloaded in their memories. General Rodo prepares to make Giru the most decorated M2 warrior in existence. The machines can't kill Goku as they must prepare him for Dr. Mew. Goku rebounds, causing them to punch him in the stomach. Goku pretends to be hurt, then attacks them with ki blasts. The Sigma Force, now consisting of Nezi, Ribber and Bizu, escape into the walls. They mock Goku by lighting him on fire from behind and pulling his feet out from under him. Goku retaliates by destroying the building, making them lose their cover. Realizing they've lost their hiding place, the three robots decide to kill Goku instead of saving him for Dr. Mew. Having boarded their spaceship with Pan, Trunks notices that all their possessions have been thrown all over the ship. He heads over to the bag the Black Star Dragon Balls were in, only to find out that all three have been stolen by Giru. He wakes up Pan, and the two prepare to get them back from Giru. The three robots combine into one, but even with their additional strength, Goku is not impressed. He uses their extendable arms as a ramp and gets a few good punches in before they blast them away. As Goku emerges from the rocks, he resumes fighting with new moves that the Sigma Force has never seen. He then highlights how, although they've gotten stronger, they haven't gotten faster. The robots then transform into their Super Sigma aerial attack mode. Goku matches their every move. He finally gets them to use their Killer Driller attack, but Goku triples his power. At this point it's clear Goku is simply toying with them, something General Rodo catches wind of too. General Rodo decides to go after Trunks and Pan as Goku continues to battle the combined might of the Sigma Force. In the end, Goku destroys them with a Kamehameha. As Goku heads toward the ship to get a bite to eat, he senses Rodo heading toward the ship too. Goku warns Trunks and Pan that a foe more powerful than Majin Buu has arrived and that they should be ready for anything. General Rodo appears, ready for battle. Pan manages to catch Rodo by surprise, knocking him to the ground and rendering him unconscious. Trunks and Goku are shocked at Pan's strength, but General Rodo gets up, completely undamaged. General Rodo fires his metal breath at a now scared Pan, but Trunks pushes her out the way. The energy beam hits Trunks instead, freezing him. Trunks then disappears. Pan and Goku manage to trick General Rodo into revealing Trunks' whereabouts. Pan goes to where Trunks is being held while Goku battles General Rodo. Goku and General Rodo throw a barrage of attacks at each other, but none seem to do any damage. It's almost as though they're testing each other for weaknesses. Pan arrives at the building where Trunks is being held. After bursting through a bunch of robot guards, she gets into the room where Trunks is, but she arrives about 5 seconds too late, as they've already begun transporting Trunks to Dr. Mew's lab. She spots Giru and takes out her frustration on him. Giru activates a button that shoots anything that is not a machine out of the room, so Pan is forced to the outside of the building. Back on the battlefield, the Sigma Force reveals that they are alive and capture Goku. He transforms into a Super Saiyan. This convinces General Rodo to also power up. He absorbs all the parts of the Sigma Force and transforms into his Hyper Meta form. As Goku and General Rodo battle, Meta Rodo starts turning everything around him into metal. Pan is at the tower, refusing to give up on her attempts to destroy Giru. She keeps getting sucked out by the corrosive removal system, which turns the walls and floor into liquid, but this fails to deter her as she continues to come back. Meta-Rodol's robots try to stop her, but she blows them up. Pan then runs into a Scholar bot, who promises to help her deactivate the corrosive removal system as long as she protects him. Goku waits for Meta-Rodol to emerge, and when he does, Meta-Rodol is completely silver, displaying how he can control everything around him that is metal. This is demonstrated when he forces Goku to drop his Kamehameha by picking him up with metal trees. It appears that Goku is outmatched, but in typical Goku fashion, he does not stop trying to win. Dr. Mew watches on as Goku and Meta-Rodol continue to battle. Rodol tells Goku that there's no way he can defeat him unless he destroys all metal on the planet. Dr. Mew is excited at the new possibilities he will have now that he's captured a living Saiyan. He even mocks Trunks, promising him that his friends will soon join him. Pan and the Scholar bot get one more chance to destroy Giru. They manage to find Giru, and Pan chases after him while the Scholar bot deactivates the corrosive removal system. Realizing he's outnumbered, Giru escapes through a wall and brings back reinforcements. While the reinforcements distract Pan, Giru activates the backup corrosive removal system. Pan gets sucked outside again, but this time, Black Star Dragon Balls and Giru's medal follow her. As the battle between Goku and General Rodol heats up, Pan appears and tells Goku that she's now in possession of the Black Star Dragon Ball. Meta-Rodol decides to use Pan to his advantage, so he charges her, causing Goku to get defensive. While Goku is flying after Meta-Rodol, Rodol spits his breath at the ground, bringing it to life. The ground swallows Goku, trapping him in a metal plate. At the same time, Hyper Meta-Rodol fires his breath at Pan, trapping her as well. They return to Meta-Rodol's base and transport Goku and Pan to Dr. Mew's hideout. Dr. Mew is all set to dissect the Saiyans and turn them into machine men, but suddenly Giru shows up. Pretending to help the mad scientist, Giru instead starts blasting Dr. Mew's equipment. While Dr. Mew and his minions are distracted by the missiles, Giru frees Goku and Pan. With the two now free, they get ready to attack Dr. Mew after congratulating Giru on an excellent acting job. Unfortunately, Dr. Mew's robots manage to capture and steal Trunks. Pan desperately participates in a game of keep away, but when the robots trip, they send Trunks flying, and he crashes to the ground in several shattered pieces. Pan begins to cry over having failed to save him, but then Trunks tells her to look up. He reveals that everything has been a plan to get to Dr. Mew and make him reveal his ultimate secret. The Saiyans follow Dr. Mew into his secret room and force him to show them Baby, his ultimate robot creation. Trunks is able to discover Baby because Giru told him about the rumors of Baby. As Dr. Mew cries over what appears to be Baby dying, the water around him starts exploding. Trunks reveals that he reprogrammed Baby's life support into the plumbing system to save everyone, and there's nothing Dr. Mew can do to stop it. Dr. Mew forces the computer's lid off and tries to reroute the system to save Baby's life. While he tries that, Trunks reveals that Dr. Mew planned on taking over everything in the galaxy. Before Baby could be completed, Dr. Mew would have had to mobilize all the robots on the planet, hence the creation of General Rodol and all the other warrior robots. Trunks explains that Giru had lost his memory until they got near the planet, but he took great risk in sneaking into Dr. Mew's lab before Trunks was experimented on. He thawed out Trunks and replaced him with a metallic slab copy that got broken in the previous episode while Trunks sneaked into Baby's chamber to deal with him. Dr. Mew's computer goes haywire, making it seem inevitable that Baby is doomed to die. Dr. Mew refuses to give up. He tells Baby that he is made up of creations from the entire galaxy, so he has the galaxy's strength on his side and should be able to overcome anything. However, Baby does not respond. Goku feels a little disappointed because he would have liked to fight Baby once, but as he goes to examine the capsule, Baby's eyes open. Baby begins to power up, proving he is very much alive. He uses the energy stored in the capsule to transform into his true form, and Dr. Mew celebrates, saying that Baby's power was already too integrated into his circuits to be destroyed. Giru tries to flee, but Pan holds him back, while Baby reaches his true form and bursts out of the capsule. The power pushes the three Saiyans back against a wall and causes Dr. Mu to receive some circuit damage, making him collapse. Goku sees the fully formed baby and warns everyone to watch out, but he's shocked at how powerful baby is, despite not being fully developed. Baby scans the three Saiyans and decides to try and kill Goku first. Goku, too smart for baby, coordinates a three-way attack with Pan and Trunks that appears to fully destroy baby. Dr. Mu begins to cry again, believing his perfect creation has been destroyed. The lab starts to go crazy as a spaceship arrives to evacuate Dr. Mu. Before he leaves, a small substance enters Dr. Mu's leg. Pan tries to stop Dr. Mu, but Goku and Trunks hold her back, believing that with baby dead, Dr. Mu can no longer take over the galaxy. Dr. Mu decides to regain his power before moving to the next phase, but baby bursts out of his back, revealing he was behind everything. Baby is seen holding the one-star Dragon Ball and appears to be setting up some kind of trap. Giru defrosts their spaceship, which also defrosts most of the metal on planet M2. The gang boards the ship and prepares to take off, but something is holding them in place. Looking out of the window, they see General Rildo holding onto the ship. They all launch multiple Kamehameha blasts, effectively destroying Rildo in his regular form. As the ship flies off, Baby emerges from Rildo. The gang makes it back into space, and Giru manages to pick up the location of a Black Star Dragon Ball right away. They rush to the location and find a deserted starship about to fall into a sun. They enter the ship using space scooters and begin searching it. They find the one-star ball in the engine, and as they prepare to leave, Pan notices something else moving. She refuses to leave until she finds out what it is. A machine mother called HWM-100X attacks Pan as soon as she enters the next room, but Trunks, Goku and Giru stop the missiles from hitting her. Pan uses some key blasts to destroy the machine. Giru detects another life form among them, leading them to find a green boy. With less than a minute until the ship is destroyed, the gang rushes and gets on their scooters. They abandon the scooters while Giru launches a grappling hook at their ship. After connecting, the gang gets together, and Goku uses a Kamehameha to push them to their ship, allowing them to get away safely. The green boy appears to be severely injured, so Giru sends an SOS and receives coordinates to planet Pitol. They land on planet Pitol and rush the boy to the ER, whilst Goku hides under a chair in order to avoid receiving a shot. The boy's condition stabilizes, but as soon as everyone except the nurse leaves the room, a strange heart rate is detected. Baby reveals he's inside the boy and decides to blow up the room since the nurse saw him. Hearing the explosion, the gang rushes to the room, but none of the medical staff can see through the smoke. Goku finds the green boy and the doctor and gets them to safety. While doctors and nurses talk about how lucky the boy is, Baby, now in control of the boy's body, begins to grin menacingly. Baby's plan is to divide the Saiyans and take control of them one by one. The following day, Pan and Trunks have to fish Goku out of a tree because he's too afraid to go inside and eat hospital food. Baby watches on, believing an opportunity has presented itself after Trunks informs Goku that there are no restaurants on the planet, so they go fishing instead. Pan, exploring the hospital grounds, finds and starts playing with a young deer. She calls the deer cute but is shocked when the deer responds unexpectedly.
Aww, how cute! Hey, what are you doing?
The green boy approaches Pan, explaining that the deer thinks she's its mother. He attempts to attack Pan, but reconsiders when Goku and Trunks show up, having wrapped up fishing sooner than Baby expected. They cite that the fish tasted horrible and that the doctor is looking for the young boy. The doctor appears and suggests that the boy go back inside. On the way, Baby decides to change hosts, taking over the doctor. He then hands over the boy to a nurse to take him inside and sets out to capture Goku, Trunks and Pan. Baby, now in the doctor's body, finds Goku trying to hide to avoid shots. He assures Goku that he would lose his license if he gave a shot to a healthy person like Goku. Now at ease, Goku goes inside for some food. Baby decides to take Trunks on a tour as Trunks is fascinated by the technology within the facility. Their final stop is a giant microscope that allows Trunks to see electrons in the air. Realizing that Trunks is occupied, Baby tries to possess him, but Goku and Pan enter and save Trunks. Baby does, however, cut Trunks and go on to possess his body. Just as Baby's about to make Trunks attack Goku, Trunks regains control and transforms into a Super Saiyan, forcing Baby to leave Trunks' body. With his cover now blown, Goku, Trunks and Pan attempt to destroy Baby, but he escapes into a crowd of people boarding spaceships. After Baby possesses a woman on board the ship, Goku is unable to sense him anymore. Not knowing what else to do, the gang decides to resume their quest for the Black Star Dragon Balls. Meanwhile, Baby kills everyone on board the spaceship in order to become stronger. He then decides to head to Earth. Goku and the others land on a planet named Tigeri, where they accidentally wake a giant tiger in possession of a Black Star Dragon Ball. They trick the tiger into falling off a cliff. At the same time, Baby can be seen making his way to Earth. On Earth, Chi-Chi, Bola, Bulma, Goten and Vegeta begin to wonder where the others could be. The year is almost up, so the trio is cutting it close, which has everyone worried. To ease some tension, Vegeta decides to shave his mustache with a little push from Bola, or more like insults from Bola. Vegeta is excited to show off his clean-shaven face to Bulma and Chi-Chi, but they purposely ignore him to tease him, leaving him bright red from embarrassment. Goten goes on a date with a girl named Valise. Aware that she's on the rebound from a recent breakup, he decides to turn on his charm in the big city, listening to her every word and taking her everywhere she wants to go. A fight breaks out in the city. Mr. Satan tries to break it up, but his age and strength are not what they once were. Goten arrives, and Mr. Satan tries to convince him to fight, but Goten explains that he's on a date. As he talks to Mr. Satan, a human possessed by Baby prepares to attack Valise. Goten dispatches the first attacker, and then two more easily enough, but a fourth man appears and strikes Goten, catching him off guard. Baby realizes Goten is a Saiyan and emerges from the man's body. The battle between Goten and Baby begins, with Goten seemingly an easy match for him. When Valise sees him fight, she begins to root for Goten, which makes him want to show off. He goes Super Saiyan, but then he gets caught by Baby's attack. The fight goes on, but as Goten powers up to his full strength and launches a Kamehameha, Baby shoots out and enters Goten's body via the cut. Using Goten's body, Baby decides to hunt down Vegeta and take over his body in order to turn everybody into Tuffles, a race eradicated by the Saiyans under King Vegeta's orders. At Capsule Corp, Chi-Chi and Goten have moved in temporarily until Goku returns. As Chi-Chi wonders what's taking Goten so long to return, Gohan arrives after deciding to visit and spend the night. Just as Gohan finishes unpacking, Goten enters the room and questions Vegeta's whereabouts. Chi-Chi scolds Goten, and Bulma tells him that Vegeta is currently out. Goten starts a fight with Gohan, and Gohan immediately realizes that something has taken over Goten. Chi-Chi and Bulma chase them out, saying if they want to fight, they need to do it away from the house. In a remote open area, Gohan confronts Baby Goten. Sensing that Gohan is much more powerful than Goten, Baby decides it will be easier to take over Gohan's body to defeat Vegeta. The fight begins, but Gohan refuses to power up to full strength. Baby thinks that Gohan has realized that he can change bodies but only once his foe has reached full power. He attempts to coax Gohan into powering up by teasing him. After sustaining substantial damage, Gohan is forced to power up and go Super Saiyan. Baby then leaves Goten's body and enters Gohan's through a cut he made earlier. Goten collapses in sheer exhaustion and Piccolo appears. He sensed Baby and decided to come to fight, but seeing Goten collapse, he goes to help him. Piccolo vows to destroy Baby, but Baby makes Gohan fire an energy blast which appears to destroy both Piccolo and Goten. Baby marvels at Gohan's power and contemplates what a true Saiyan's power is like. His next target is Vegeta. Meanwhile, Goku, Trunks and Pan find the black 3-star Dragon Ball on another planet. With Gohan and Goten under his control, Baby decides to locate Vegeta to take over the body of the Saiyan Prince. In space, Goku is worried about where Baby might be hiding. Goten has fallen ill, as Chi-Chi and Videl watch over him. Baby Gohan senses Vegeta nearby and decides to fly after him. Vegeta is on the road with Bulla, returning from shopping. Bulla has bought a lot of new clothes with Vegeta's money and plans to do a fashion show at home. When two men drive up in a hovercar and begin hitting on Bulla, Vegeta loses his temper and tears off their steering wheel, sending their car soaring into the ocean. Further down the road, Baby Gohan flies in front of their car, destroying most of Bulla's clothes. Vegeta tells Bulla to go on ahead without him so that he can confront Gohan alone. Before she leaves, Bulla tells Vegeta to make sure that Gohan has the money to pay for the damages to their car and her stuff. Vegeta realizes that Gohan is not himself. Baby reveals himself to Vegeta and explains that he's a parasite the Tuffles created before the Saiyans destroyed them. He adds how his job is now to rebuild the Tuffle race by taking over other bodies. Earth is his first target, but he also plans on spreading his infection across the entire universe. Vegeta also discovers that it was his father who destroyed the Tuffle race, so Baby's decided to make Vegeta his #1 target for revenge. Vegeta powers up to Super Saiyan and begins fighting, easily having the upper hand. Baby realizes that Gohan is not strong enough to defeat Vegeta, so he decides to call for backup. Back at Bulma's place, Goten wakes up. He remembers being on a date, but nothing after that. Goten decides to get a drink of water, but the moment the water enters his system, he's subjected to immense pain. It turns out Baby is still controlling Goten. Baby calls for Goten to make his way to Gohan in order to assist him in his battle against Vegeta. Goten arrives at the battle site and offers Vegeta his help. Vegeta, acting the part of the arrogant Saiyan, declines, so Goten flies up to a higher level. When Vegeta turns his back, Goten fires an energy blast that manages to slice Vegeta's cheek open. Realizing that both Goten and Gohan are under Baby's control, Vegeta powers up further to knock them out. Just as Vegeta reaches his maximum power, Baby shoots out at Gohan and enters Vegeta through the cut and takes control of his body. Completely oblivious to what just happened, Vegeta powers down and checks on Gohan and Goten. Suddenly, he starts hearing a voice inside his head. Baby explains that he can spread his cells through one's bloodstream and is now turning Vegeta into his permanent host body. To prove his point, he has Gohan and Goten join him. Despite Vegeta's resistance, his body is eventually taken over, transforming into Baby's own. Now in full control of Vegeta, Baby declares his plan to spread his infection across the universe after taking over Earth and killing Goku. Meanwhile, Trunks, Giru, Pan and Goku reach the icy planet Blaris in search of the final Black Star Dragon Ball. Goku falls into a hole and emerges with the 2-star Dragon Ball. With all the Black Star Dragon Balls gathered, they decide to head back to Earth. Upon returning to Earth, Goku, Pan and Trunks stop by the lookout to drop off the Black Star Dragon Balls. Dende and Mr. Popo greet them, and Pan takes all the credit for recovering the Black Star Dragon Balls. However, Dende and Mr. Popo believe Goku did most of the work. They decide not to have Goku return to normal size since it would mean collecting the Black Star Dragon Balls again. As they leave, Dende gives off an evil look, which makes it clear that Baby's influence has reached the lookout. Mr. Satan remains the only free human on the planet, as he hides inside Majin Buu as a pod. Majin Buu incapacitates Baby's slaves after they surround Mr. Satan's mansion. Majin Buu's inherent goodness prevents Baby from taking him over. Mr. Satan comes out to fight and appears to knock everyone out, but they get up again, forcing Buu and Mr. Satan to retreat as they make their way to Goku's house to alert him. Goku and Pan arrive home, but Chi-Chi and Videl ignore them. Goku thinks Chi-Chi is mad at him for remaining in his child form, and Pan believes her mum is upset about her going to space without permission. When Goku tries to eat, Chi-Chi smacks his hand with a spatula. Meanwhile, Trunks arrives at Capsule Corp, surprised no one is there to greet him. Giru sounds an alarm warning of danger. Trunks assumes it's his father's power and jokes about how scary Vegeta can be. Vegeta appears, welcoming Trunks home. Trunks informs him that the Black Star Dragon Balls are with Dende. Vegeta invites Trunks inside and Bulma's also there. Bulma scolds Trunks for being a bad boy and leaves Vegeta to handle his punishment. When Trunks questions their anger, Baby reveals himself. Baby informs Trunks that he left a seed inside him during their earlier encounter. Trunks tries to resist but falls under Baby's control again, and Giru is attacked by Baby Vegeta. Gohan and Goten arrive at Goku's house and start fighting Goku and Pan. Goku asks why they're attacking, but the pair power up and destroy both Gohan and Goku's homes. Gohan threatens to kill Pan and knocks it out, infuriating Goku. Despite the pair being Super Saiyans, Goku in his base form still overpowers them. As he prepares to launch a Kamehameha at Goten and Gohan, Mr. Satan and Majin Buu arrive, explaining that everyone on Earth is controlled by Baby. Baby Vegeta shows up and questions how he missed Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan reveals that he was hiding inside Majin Buu. Enraged by this, Baby decides to destroy Mr. Satan, prompting Goku to tell Majin Buu to get Pan and Mr. Satan to safety. Mr. Satan promises to look after Pan. Majin Buu turns them into chocolate and keeps them safe inside his body while flying away. Baby turns his attention to Goku, taunting him about whether he could destroy everything he loves. Goku stands firm, urging Baby to try him. Goku attempts to reason with Baby, pointing out that the Saiyans were already destroyed for their crimes, making Baby's revenge futile. Unmoved, Baby begins to fight Goku. Goku quickly realizes that Baby has grown much stronger. Suddenly, Trunks and Buller arrive. Goku warns that it's unsafe for Buller to be there. Trunks reveals that he and Buller are under Baby's control, turning the fight into a 5-on-1 battle against Goku. Baby tries to convince Goku to join them, but Goku notes that Vegeta would never refer to him by that name. Realizing that he won't be able to convince Goku otherwise, Baby decides to kill him. Baby Vegeta powers up, forcing Goku to transform into a Super Saiyan 3. However, Goku quickly finds that his small body can't sustain the form, reverting back to his base state. Baby Vegeta takes advantage, bombarding Goku with energy blasts and knocking him unconscious. Refusing to give up, Goku continues to plead with Baby to reconsider taking over the universe. Baby dismisses the plea, stating he might have considered mercy if the Saiyans had shown his people the same. As the other Saiyans begin to circle Baby Vegeta, they channel their power into him, causing him to transform. Goku acknowledges Baby's newfound power but still vows to destroy him. Baby silences him with a powerful punch. After gathering the negative energy from everyone on the planet, Baby transforms into Super Baby Vegeta 2 and forms a dark spirit bomb which he refers to as the Revenge Death Ball. Goku, unable to move, is seemingly killed. Majin Buu is unable to sense Goku's energy, and he informs Pan and Mr. Satan that Goku is gone. The pair refuse to believe it. In an unknown dimension, Goku is saved by Kibito Kai. To escape, he must win a game against Suguro, where the loser dies. Meanwhile, on the sacred world of the Kai, Kibito Kai accidentally disrupts old Kai's fishing, revealing that he lost Goku in the Sugoroku place, which is a place where the old Kai's powers don't reach. In the Sugoroku space, Goku struggles, landing on unlucky spots while Suguro hits all the lucky ones. Failing a riddle challenge, Goku jams himself against the wall to avoid the deadly spikes. He continues playing, now 4 spots from defeat. In a tense moment, he accidentally throws his dice toward the lava, which makes suspicious noises that Suguro denies. Goku decides to try and throw the dice again toward the lava, but the dice transforms into a being who cries out for help. Suguro tries to get him to turn back into a dice, but he refuses to. Goku realizes the dice was rigged to sabotage him all along and starts calling them out. The game itself comes to life and decides to kill Suguro and his son Shushigoro for cheating, but Goku protects them. As the game starts to go haywire, Goku discovers his powers have returned. He uses a Kamehameha to blast them out the dimension. Just as it appears they'll be crushed by falling rocks, Kibito Kai shows up and transports them to the secret world of the Kai. At the planet of the Kais, Goku learns the truth about Baby's plan. Baby's moving everyone to the new Tuffle planet, which he wished back using the Black Star Dragon Balls. Goku also learns that Dende and Mr. Popo are Tuffles. Goku wants to return to Earth to destroy Baby, but old Kai insists that Goku stay behind just for a little while so that he can complete some training, which Goku agrees to. On Earth, Pan figures out a plan on how to get to the Tuffle planet. She and Mr. Satan hide inside Majin Buu, who redoes his face to avoid recognition. Pan and Mr. Satan are safely hidden inside Majin Buu. When Majin Buu cuts in front of Krillin, Krillin seems to recognize him, but since Majin Buu has redone his face, he pretends to be Bo. The two begin talking, and Krillin reveals that he's taken his entire family to the Tuffle planet. Bulma comes along and Bo is given the 100th spot on board the ship. The remainder of the line, including Krillin and his family, are forced to stay behind. At the sacred world of the Kais, Goku's training has begun. Goku's first task is to grind coffee beans. Goku claims that old Kai is only making him do this because he's too lazy to do himself, but at the same time Goku's tailbone starts to itch, which makes old Kai smile. Pan and company arrive on the Tuffle planet, and after Majin Buu spits them out, Pan reveals her plan to give everyone laxatives in order to flush out baby's eggs inside them. It appears to work until Videl kicks Pan out the sky. Then Gohan shows up and they prepare to turn Pan into a Tuffle. Baby tells them that they've no need for her and that they can go ahead and kill her. Through old Kai's crystal ball, Goku sees that Pan is in danger, which causes him to immediately stop grinding the coffee. But old Kai says he can't until he's fully ready. Goku begs, and just as Pan is about to be blasted by Gohan, someone comes in, kicks Gohan and saves her. This someone is none other than Oob, who Baby had failed to infect as Oob had taken refuge deep inside the mountains after realizing early on that something odd was going on around the globe. After saving Pan from Gohan and Videl, Oob discovers that his mentor and friend Goku had been killed by Baby Vegeta. The battle between Baby Vegeta and Oob commences. The fighting prodigy and Kid Buu incarnate, Oob, appears to have the upper hand as he lands hit after hit on Baby, causing Gohan, Goten and Trunks to intervene in an attempt to stop him. Baby is furious at them for interfering and he blasts them all away. He also reveals that the entire time he was just studying Oob's moves, and highlights that Oob is stronger than any of the Saiyans except Goku and himself. Pan is distraught as it appears Gohan has also now been killed, which leads her to break down, crying. Over on the sacred world of the Kai, old Kai finally relents and allows Goku to go without finishing his training, but there's a catch. Goku is told to lower his pants, revealing that his tail has begun to regrow. Only with his tail restored can Goku gain the additional power needed to defeat Baby. Shusugoro turns into a pair of pliers so that the tail can be fully pulled out, which Goku reluctantly agrees to. On planet Tuffle, the tides of the battle have turned and Oob is getting pounded by Baby. Believing that she's lost her entire family, Pan, not wanting to lose Oob too, tries to intervene but is simply knocked away by Baby. Baby's had enough and is about to finish them all off, so Mr. Satan asks Majin Buu to protect them. Majin Buu struggles with his feelings and rushes Pan and Mr. Satan far away from the battlefield. As he does, Baby Vegeta gathers the energy from all the Tuffles on the planet in order to form the Revenge Death Ball to destroy Oob. But Majin Buu returns to the scene and absorbs the attack. Believing Oob to be dead, Baby goes with Bulma to celebrate at a parade the Tuffles are throwing. However, Oob has merely been encompassed by Majin Buu. Majin Buu reveals to Oob that they're the same being and it's time for them to rejoin. Majin Buu then merges with Oob and Majoob is born. At the parade, Majoob appears, so Baby decides to resume the fun, but he does not realize how powerful Majoob has become. On the planet of the Kais, Old Kai, Kabito Kai and the Space Lemurs are still trying to pull Goku's tail out. When Goku senses something strange is happening, he asks the others to look at the crystal ball. They inform him that Oob and Buu have merged into one being. Old Kai has Goku tied up by Suguro so that he can't move. They then recommence the tail pulling exercise. Before he and Majoob commence battle, Baby reminds everyone that they might want to move out of the way. Majoob decides to pull out all the stops right away, so he fires a beam that turns everyone around him into chocolate. Majoob promises to turn everyone back when he's done fighting Baby. On the sacred world of the Kais, Goku figures out a way to pull out his tail. He has old Kai tied to a rock and then powers up and flies upward, allowing his tail to be pulled out. With his tail finally out, Goku has Kabito Kai transport him to the Tuffle planet. Majoob attempts to turn Baby into chocolate by firing a Kamehameha at him. Baby is able to hold off the beam and turns it back toward Majoob, turning Majoob into chocolate. Goku arrives but is too late to save Majoob. Baby is shocked to see that Goku is still alive and that he now has a tail. Goku powers up to Super Saiyan 3, which is now able to maintain, but is still unable to defeat Baby, who easily beats him. With Goku down for the count, he looks at the Earth. The Earth begins to emit Blutz waves similar to how a full moon would, which causes Goku to transform into Nazaru. He doesn't just become a regular Great Ape, but he instead transforms into a golden one. Having access to Vegeta's memories, Baby puts 2 and 2 together. Goku's now gained a massive strength boost, greatly surpassing Baby Vegeta. He begins toying with Baby Vegeta, but it soon becomes evident that Goku has lost all control over himself. The only way to restore his control is either to remove his tail or regain his memories. On the sacred world of the Kais, Shusagoro turns into a pair of scissors for Kibito Kai to use on Goku's tail, but Old Kai stops them. Old Kai tells them that if Goku can regain his humanity, he'll be able to reach the ultimate Super Saiyan level, Super Saiyan 4. Pan and Mr. Satan arrive on the scene and end up running for their lives as Goku chases after them. Goku looks up at the sky and sees the Earth. Baby Vegeta is able to escape as Goku gazes at the Earth. Goku climbs up a small mountain and starts pining for the Earth. Pan decides to try and talk to her Gramps, so she takes out her martial arts outfit that Goku gave her when she was just a little girl, but it doesn't seem to bring Goku around. However, a picture falls out of Pan's backpack and Goku picks it up. The picture was taken when his friends and family were on vacation, reminding Goku of that day at the beach when Pan was just a little girl. Pan starts to cry and her pleas finally get through to Goku as he starts to retake control of his body. Elsewhere, Baby has decided that if Goku can transform into Nazaru, then so can he, as his vessel is the Prince of all Saiyans after all. He heads to his base to enlist Bulma's help. Since Bulma is a scientific genius, she should be able to come up with a way to help him transform. With Pan's help, Goku regains full control of his body and begins to undergo another transformation. He starts to look more human again, but retains some primitive primate-like features. Goku has finally ascended and reached the pinnacle of Saiyan transformation, which Old Kai refers to as Super Saiyan 4. Pan approaches her grandfather, asking if he's still on their side, the good side. Staring at her intently, Goku cracks a smile to confirm that he's back to his old self, much to Pan's relief. Meanwhile, Old Kai celebrates Goku's ascension while his comrades are in awe of the form. Goku looks at the damage he caused while Pan updates him on his rampage. Mr. Satan celebrates the return of Goku, and they prepare for the final showdown with Baby Vegeta, as Goku tells Pan and Mr. Satan that he'll find Baby and defeat him once and for all. At his lookout, Baby Vegeta is trying to figure out why Goku could transform and he could not. He detects that Goku is fast approaching and stresses to Bulma that she has a limited amount of time to help him transform. Goku enters and attacks. Goku plays around with Baby Vegeta, letting him believe that his attacks are hurting him, when in fact every time Baby hits him, Goku barely feels a thing. The Supreme Kais quickly become frustrated with Goku for not taking things seriously, as this can come back to bite him. Bulma finds a way to focus the Bloodwave generator she created directly onto Baby Vegeta. This enables him to transform into a golden grey ape. Goku realizes his mistake, but he doesn't panic, as he feels he still has more than enough power to handle the golden grey ape form of Baby Vegeta. Baby Vegeta appears to have lost full control of his body. He goes on a rampage just like Goku did earlier, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku is able to easily handle him and prevent him from killing most of the planet's inhabitants. Golden Grey Ape Baby Vegeta then regains full control of his Grey Ape body and reveals that he pretended to go berserk just so he can kill his own Tough-Alive minions for a laugh. Goku accuses Baby of playing unfairly, so Baby decides to target more innocent people, with Chi-Chi and Videl being among them. Goku proves to be too fast for Baby Vegeta, and he takes the now unconscious Chi-Chi and Videl to Mr. Satan to keep an eye on them while he continues to battle. Baby then decides to target Earth next. He fires a Super Gallic gun directly at it. Goku tries to intercept it with a Kamehameha, but he's unable to stop it in time. On Earth, Marun and Android 18 are forcing Krillin to gather up supplies for their move to the Tuffle planet. When the Super Gallic gun hits, they wonder what's going on. Goku decides to finish the battle and shoots a 10 times Kamehameha at Baby. He appears to have destroyed the ape, but then Baby emerges from the smoke without a scratch. He then fires another Super Gallic gun, forcing Goku to take the hit in order to spare the Earth from destruction. Old Kai cites that Baby has gone completely insane and is now embarking on a murderous rampage. He adds that although Baby might sound like he's in control, if his Super Gallic gun had hit the Earth as intended, the resulting explosion would have destroyed both Earth and the new Tuffle planet. Goku is weakened after taking a direct hit from the Super Gallic Gun attack, so Baby prepares to finish him off with another one. However, the 10 times Kamehameha that Goku launched earlier starts to finally take effect, which causes Baby to drop to the ground. Old Kai informs Kibito Kai of the next move in his plan. Kibito Kai needs to get the sacred water from Kami's lookout and use it on Gohan, Trunks and Goten in order to free them from Baby Vegeta's control. After confirming the location, Kibito Kai heads to Earth to get the sacred water. On the lookout, Kibito Kai gets caught by Dende and Mr. Popo. Kibito Kai manages to find the sacred water and uses it on Dende and Mr. Popo, freeing them from Baby's control. With the sacred water now on hand, Kibito Kai makes his way to the new Tuffle planet. He decides to free Trunks from Baby Vegeta's control first. A small amount of sacred water is all that was needed to free Trunks from his control. Kibito Kai goes on to restore Trunks' power. Trunks is now freed from Baby's control but can't remember anything, so Kibito Kai explains what's been going on. Elsewhere on Planet Plant, both Baby and Goku are down for the count. Kibito Kai asks Trunks to keep Baby distracted while he frees Gohan and Goten from the Tuffle's control. Bulma manages to get her Blitzwave generator working again, so she fires it directly at Baby, fully re-energizing him. Goku gets up too and pretends that he's back at full strength, but he's in fact heavily weakened. With Baby now back to full power, Goku realizes that he's at a major disadvantage, so tries to trick Baby into making mistakes. Pan can see that Goku's been heavily weakened by Baby's Super Gallic Gun, so she flies over and uses a barrage of energy attacks against Baby. The energy attacks have no effect, and Pan is simply swatted out of the sky. As Baby prepares to crush her to death, Goku prepares to use what little energy he has left on a Kamehameha. But Trunks arrives and manages to distract Baby, who decides to change targets and focus on Trunks. Gohan and Goten have been freed from Baby's control by Kibito Kai. Both arrive and save Trunks. Goten and Trunks decide to try and do the fusion dance, but Goku tells them that it's not going to be enough. He tells them that they need to give him their energy, as he's the only one that can defeat Baby. Baby catches onto their plan and attacks them all. Goku uses his last bit of remaining energy on a solar flare to temporarily blind Baby. This gives a chance for Gohan, Goten and Trunks as well as Pan to begin powering up Goku. Baby recovers quickly and prepares to launch an attack aimed to kill everyone in sight. Marge Oob, who's been alive inside of Baby the whole time, realizes that Goku needs more time to power up. In order to bide Goku some more time, Marge Oob starts attacking Baby from the inside, causing Baby excruciating pain. Once Marge Oob runs out of power, he's spat out by Baby. Baby then fires a Super Gallic Gun directly at the Saiyans. It appears that everyone's been hit by the Super Gallic Gun and put out of action, so Mr. Satan decides to confront Baby all by himself, not even caring if he dies. However, Goku speaks up and says that he can handle Baby by himself. He also tells Mr. Satan that he's a true hero now. The others wake up too and are shocked to see the power of Goku at full strength. As the battle between Goku and Baby intensifies, the Tuffleized humans ask Baby to protect them, and Goku reveals that he's yet to display his full power. Baby refuses to listen and proclaims that the strongest will triumph, to which Goku replies that darkness is weaker than light and so victory will be his. They begin fighting again, with the Saiyans and Pan giving sideline commentary. The two appear to be evenly matched. On the sacred world of the Kai, Kibito Kai returns and informs Old Kai that he plans on going to Earth and using the sacred water to free everyone from Baby's control. Back on the battlefield, Baby declares that it's time for Goku to die and launches a Super Gallic Gun towards him. Using his instant transmission, Goku is able to avoid the attack. Baby decides to fire a bunch of ki blasts at Goku, but they're all pushed away by ki Goku's emitting from his body, which causes magma to rise to the surface. Refusing to accept defeat, Baby resorts to his ultimate attack, the ultimate revenge death ball, not caring if it destroys Planet Plant in the process. Everyone watches as Goku takes the attack head on. Baby declares that Goku has no chance of defeating him now, as he's altered the technique to absorb Goku. Goku, thinking about his family and friends, refuses to give up. Goku powers up and causes the revenge death ball to turn into a cyclone of energy that he absorbs into himself. Using this newfound energy, Goku becomes even stronger and launches a powerful 10 times Kamehameha at Baby. The The 10 times Kamehameha hits Baby head on and sends him crashing to the ground, knocking him out cold. Gohan reminds everyone that if Baby dies, so will Vegeta. Trunks notes that his father would rather die than to continue being controlled. In a surprise turn, Goku severs Baby's tail with an energy blast. This causes Vegeta's body to change back to normal. Baby, realizing that he's lost, abandons Vegeta's body, but he's surrounded by the Z Fighters, so he blinds them in order to escape. Baby takes Bulma's giant spaceship and flees into outer space, but Goku launches a 10 times Kamehameha at Baby's ship, sending him hurling straight into the sun, reminiscent of how he defeated Cooler when they first fought many decades earlier. Goku and the others are relieved as he's finally ended the Tuffle menace once and for all. Before Super Saiyan 4 Goku reverts back to his child form, he helps the Z Fighters return to Earth using his instant transmission. With the help of Kibito Kai, they use the sacred water to free Earth's populace from Baby's mind control. However, they find out some bad news. Immediately after Goku, Pan and Trunks brought the Black Star Dragon Balls back, Baby made a wish using them before the 1-year time limit was up on the original wish, which after Pan calculates with the information given to her, means that Earth is due to explode in 2 weeks' time. They have Mr. Satan announce to the world that Earth is going to explode within 2 weeks. Vegeta comes up with a plan to move everyone from Earth over to Planet Plant. Goku in his Super Saiyan 4 form and Kibito Kai use their instant transmission to transport some people to safety, while Capsule Corp ships and every other ship on Earth manage to transport the rest. However, a young boy named Danny is accidentally left behind by his forgetful parents. Piccolo, who survived Baby Gohan's attack, is still on Earth and saves the boy. Goku arrives to take them both to Planet Plant, but is unable to sustain his Super Saiyan 4 form, thus leaving him and the boy trapped on Earth, which is about to implode any second now. Piccolo gives Goku some of his energy. With the additional energy he received, Goku is now able to use instant transmission. He teleports himself and Danny onto an escape ship. Afterwards, Piccolo contacts Gohan. He lets Gohan know that he plans to die along with the Earth. His reasoning is that with his death, the Black Star Dragon Balls will cease to exist and the Earth will be safe once again. As Piccolo bids farewell to Gohan, he tells Gohan that he takes great pride in seeing how powerful he's become. This only reaffirms to Gohan how much his old mentor cherishes him. The Earth then explodes, killing Piccolo and permanently destroying the Black Star Dragon Balls, leaving behind a distraught Goku and Gohan who have no choice but to watch on. On planet Namek, Grand Elder Muri uses the Namekian Dragon Balls to restore Earth, allowing everyone to return home. A party to celebrate Baby's defeat is held at Capsule Corp afterward, but Gohan is in no mood to celebrate. Bulma asks Chi-Chi what it's like having a child for a husband, and Chi-Chi tells her it's mostly the same as before. Goku notices Gohan still mourning Piccolo's demise and comforts him. Soon after, more of their family and friends arrive to join the celebration. Some time passes, and the 30th World Martial Arts Tournament begins. Goku enters the tournament but is placed in the junior division. He ends up facing a kid named Charlie who just winds up crying. When Krillin arrives and asks Goku why he didn't inform them that he was in the junior division, he says that he didn't know. In a flashback, Goku is seen asking Mr. Satan why he's fighting in the junior division whilst Pan is fighting in the adult division. Mr. Satan claims that there's a height limit which Goku doesn't meet to fight in the adult division. In present time, the naive Goku tells Krillin that he believes Mr. Satan. Krillin tells Goku the real reason he was excluded from the adult division, which was so that Pan can become the new champion, allowing Mr. Satan to keep the championship in the family. Elsewhere, Mr. Satan is deciding to call it quits and retire because Majin Buu is no longer there to help him become a better fighter. He calls for a press conference to inform his fans. Some people say that Mr. Satan will be back within 3 years, while others say he'll be gone for good. Trunks also makes his way to the tournament. At the tournament, Vegeta arrives and decides to force his way into the championship against Goku. Meanwhile, Pan forfeits her quarterfinal round because she fears becoming champion will force her to become more masculine. She also cites that she wants to become more than just a rich fighter like her grandfather. The championship match in the junior division begins with Goku and Mowgli. Mowgli is terrified of Goku. After he realizes that Goku is in fact an adult, he begins backing away in fear, but then Vegeta bursts in and challenges Goku to a real championship fight. Goku agrees to fight Vegeta after beating Mowgli. Whilst Goku is distracted, Mowgli catches him by surprise, almost causing him to fall out the ring. When Mowgli realizes that Goku is only hanging on by his fingertips, he rushes over and tickles Goku, forcing Goku to let go. Mowgli is then crowned the new junior champion. Trunks finally arrives and sees his dad angrily punch the wall. Trunks decides to leave his father alone and makes his way into the stadium. He makes it just in the nick of time for the adult finals where Mad Chili will face Papaya Man. Trunks is surprised that neither Goku nor Pan made it to the finals. Pan offers Trunks a lollipop and then the match begins. Trunks questions who Papaya Man is. Goku tells him that Papaya Man is in fact Marjube and asks Marjube to reveal himself. Marjube wins the tournament and now has the opportunity to face Mr. Satan. Realizing he has no chance against Marjube, Mr. Satan starts to question whether he should give up his belt or not. The real championship then begins between Mr. Satan and Marjube. Marjube thinks about his mom and what becoming a champion will mean to his people and how the prize money will change their lives. With this in mind, he decides to go all out with his strength. He's on the cusp of winning the championship, but Majin Buu's consciousness forces him to throw the match. Mr. Satan then gets up and punches Marjube, knocking him out of the ring. The fans all rush out and congratulate Mr. Satan. As Mr. Satan thinks about his remaining abilities and love his fans have for him, he decides he can truly now retire. But his fans manage to make him change his mind and agree to keep fighting. As everyone heads back to West City, Vegeta and Goku decide to fight on a bridge. But Goku's stomach starts to growl, so they're forced to postpone their fight. In Mount Paozu, where Chi-Chi and Gohan's homes are located, Pan wonders where Trunks is. When he finally arrives, she runs to the door and is shocked to see a badly beaten Trunks who claims that Android 17 attacked him. As everyone rushes to the door, they see a strange hole in the sky. Goku senses something evil permeating from it. He's contacted by King Kai, who informs him that Earth and Hell are being linked together through some sort of warp hole. Seeing the hole, the Z fighters get ready to fight, while the people of Earth wonder what it is. Android 17, who's been living a solitary life on Earth, is sitting atop a mountain and begins to hear strange messages in his head. The messages say that there are two of him separated by time and space, and they're both soon to be reunited. In Hell, we see another identical Android 17, built by Dr. Mew and Dr. Gero. The 17 in Hell is the one who caused the rift to open. The people of Earth begin to panic and start to believe Doomsday has arrived. King Furry tries to keep everyone calm, but nobody wants to listen to him. The Android 17 in Hell continues to grow more evil and says that Earth is in for a shock like never before. In Hell, the two doctors celebrate their union. Dr. Gero says that it's always been his plan to replace humanity with a race of cybernetically augmented human beings. Dr. Gero explains that a small probe he created in Hell was able to slip through and attach to Android 17, allowing him to control the original. They also plan on setting Goku up with a few old friends from the past. Back at Chi-Chi's house, Trunks finally wakes up and gets bombarded with questions. He tells everyone that he was on his way to Goku's, but then 17 attacked him. He managed to save himself and his driver, but Android 17 left a message that Goku must go to Hell or Earth will be taken over by the villains residing in Hell. Goku agrees to go to Hell alone when he sees the Red Ribbon Army, the androids General Rodo, Frieza's minions and many more attacking Earth. Goku also wants to go to see if Cell and Frieza have managed to get any stronger. Pan wants to go with Goku, but Bulma convinces her otherwise. Goten gets attacked by Babidi's henchmen. He easily defeats Pew Pew, but when Yakon takes him by surprise, Trunks has to come in to save him. Goten and Trunks then team up to destroy Android 19. Mr. Satan is seen being chased by the Red Ribbon Army, but Pan arrives and dispatches of them. Goku arrives in Hell and finds all the prisoners tied up. He's greeted by Dr. Mew and Dr. Gero. They have Android 17 attack Goku, but when Goku proves to be stronger, they rush through the portal and leave Goku trapped in Hell with Perfect Cell and Frieza. It turns out that the entire plan all along was to trap Goku in Hell, so he's unable to foil their plans as he's always done so in the past. As the others see the hole disappear, they wonder how Goku will get home, but Mr. Satan tells them not to worry as he believes that Goku will find a way to get back. Frieza mocks Goku for his small stature, But Goku's not worried, as he's the strongest he's ever been. The Hell Guards decide to run because they're afraid of the battle. Frieza and Cell promise Goku that he will be leaving in pieces, but Goku's not impressed. Goku powers up, which causes King Yema's palace to shake, and he also momentarily frightens Cell and Frieza, but they stop being afraid when they realize Goku can't fully control his strength in his now smaller body. The fighting begins in Hell and on Earth. Marjube, Goten and Trunks decide to fight the Cybermen. Gohan prepares to fight General Rildo, and Vegeta fights Nappa. Down in Hell, Frieza and Cell work together to take out Goku, but he makes fun of them and uses Frieza's Death Saucer like a surfboard. He then grabs some stalactites from Hell's walls and turns them into a shield of sorts. He bats away every attack they send at him, and also turns their own attacks against them. He accidentally ends up killing both Frieza and Cell. Goku's shocked to see that both are able to regenerate. Cell informs Goku that he and Frieza are immortal in Hell. Back on Earth, Vegeta points out that Nappa isn't any smarter, and he goes on to obliterate Nappa in an instant. The two doctors arrive with their Hellfighter 17. Vegeta acknowledges that this android is stronger, but he's still not impressed. In another part of the city, Trunks, Goten and Marjube finish off the Cybermen, and General Rildo manages to turn Gohan's right arm into metal, leaving him severely handicapped. Down in Hell, Cell uses a solar flare to trap Goku, and then he sucks him up through his tail. Cell, having absorbed Goku, now feels like he's invincible, but Goku surprises him by climbing right back out of his tail. Cell and Frieza have come up with their own attack move to deal with Goku called the Hell's Buster. They successfully utilize the technique to trap Goku inside a cage. They then push Goku into the torture area of Hell. The torture area is run by an old woman, who Goku thinks is just a little kid until she shows him her real face. She then tells Goku to use the spa and bath at his leisure. He accepts, but the spa turns into a boiling cauldron. Goku then finds out that he's on the torture tour. The first torture he must endure is the boiling cauldron. Secondly, Goku must endure the tickle torture. Third, he must endure the scalding sauna torture. Goku is then given the ice torture, which renders him immobile. Cell and Frieza come down and reveal that the ice will remain solid for 20 years. On Earth, Hellfighter 17 contacts Android 17 and asks him why he has not come to merge yet. The original Android 17 then attacks the people in the city. 18 confronts him, asking him why he's on a killing spree all of a sudden. Instead of answering her, he invites her to join them and tries to hypnotize 18. We see Gohan having problems with General Rildo, Vegeta's having problems with Hellfighter 17, and the rest of the Z fighters are otherwise occupied with taking out the rest of the Cybermen. 17 continues his attempts to control 18, however Krillin intervenes, pointing out that 18 is now married and has a child. He also reminds 17 that he killed Dr. Gero himself. 17 goes on to kill Krillin. Krillin's death snaps 18 out of it, and she goes on to attack 17. 17 decides to target Marron so he can gain full control of 18, but 18 defends her from 17's attack, which leaves her in critical condition. 17 flies off to merge with Hellfighter 17, and 18 crawls over to Krillin, taking his hand as she appears to die. Cell and Frieza mock Goku after finally exacting their revenge upon him, but the ice encasing Goku starts to melt. The ice was created by the dead residents of Hell, so it's ineffective against Goku, who's still alive. Goku turns the ice machine against Cell and Frieza, freezing the two solid. Due to his clumsiness, he accidentally cracks and shatters the frozen Frieza and Cell. Back on Earth, Rildo manages to knock Gohan to the ground and freeze an adjacent building, along with Gohan's leg. Fortunately for Gohan, Marjube, Goten and Trunks arrive and destroy General Rildo with a single blow. Pan then shows up with Mr. Satan and Giru. Giru thaws Gohan, and the group sets out for the battle location of Vegeta and Hellfighter 17. Vegeta's initially unimpressed with Hellfighter 17's strength. That is until Dr. Mu and Dr. Gero reveal that 17 is only using half of his strength. The rest of the Z fighters arrive, and so does the original 17. The two 17s merge into Super 17, an android more powerful than anything they've ever faced before. Super 17 throws back his hair and starts to power up. Vegeta attacks him but is knocked back by one punch. Marge-Oob then tries in vain, followed by Goten and Trunks, who attempt a combined attack to no avail. Gohan then tries a Kamehameha, which does absolutely nothing. Dr. Gero then tells Super 17 to demonstrate his true power. He does exactly that by striking down each Z fighter with a single blow. The Saiyans then power up to their Super Saiyan forms, but Super 17 unleashes his Flash Bomber attack, causing them all to revert back to their base forms. Watching from Hell's Glass, seeing what 17 is capable of, Goku turns to King Yemma for help. King Yemma is powerless to help due to the gates of hell being sealed by the two doctors. As all the commotion is going on, unknown to everyone, the Dragon Balls begin to crack, starting with the 4-star Dragon Ball. Piccolo contacts Yemma, requesting to be sent to hell. Yemma initially refuses, until Piccolo begins to act like old King Piccolo, and he starts blasting the trees in hell, giving King Yemma no choice but to fulfill his wish. Piccolo apologizes for his outburst before being sent to hell. As Super 17 simply stares at the rocks above the Z fighters, Vegeta unleashes his most powerful attack, which he calls the Final Shine attack. He's shocked to see that Super 17 simply absorbed the ki from the technique and goes on to fire it back toward the others. Goku struggles to find a way out of hell. That is until Piccolo arrives, declaring that he will try one of the Namekian's many powers in order to assist Goku in escaping hell. Goku questions Piccolo on whether or not he can get him out. Piccolo contacts Dende at the lookout. Dende and Piccolo decide to try and create an interconnecting energy beam to each other, which in theory should enable them to create a gateway between hell and earth in order to free Goku. Goku wonders if what Piccolo is trying to do with Dende is a type of fusion, and Piccolo says that it's a fusion of the mind. The two Namekians must have their energy beams meet perfectly in the center in order to create an opening, but they fail to do so. Goku is forced to watch the battle on Earth via Hell's hourglass. As the ogres push Cell and Frieza back to prison, Goku decides to have them get him some food while he's waiting. The Z fighters continue their fight against Super 17, but they can't put a dent in him. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan once more to try and show Super 17 why he should fear a Saiyan, but the android once again just turns Vegeta's own power against him. The ogres bring Goku some soup in hell, but a bunch of skulls start dancing out of it. This causes Goku to yell, which in turn distracts Piccolo. Dende contacts Piccolo and tells him not to give up yet, as he feels that they're almost in sync. Goku decides to tell them to use a chant like Pepper Pot, Pickle Pot, Purple Pot to help get them in sequence with each other, as he and Pan once did when they were facing Lord Lude. Piccolo reluctantly agrees and it works. Goku escapes through the opening, but before he leaves, he tries to get Piccolo to go with him. Piccolo says he would, but if he moves a muscle, the gate will close, so he can't go with Goku. Goku escapes through the opening with encouragement from Dende and promises to pay Piccolo back. After Goku escapes, Piccolo is confronted by various enemies that the Z fighters return to Hell. Piccolo, knowing that he's not leaving Hell anytime soon, decides to get in some target practice. Pan can no longer stand idle, watching the others get beaten up, so she attempts to help, but just as she does, Dr. Gero decides to end the show. Vegeta appears to be out for the count, but when Dr. Mew highlights his disappointment in the Saiyan Prince, and goes on to mention how Goku is stronger, Vegeta erupts in anger and begins to go berserk. Pan then captures Dr. Gero, threatening to destroy him unless he calls off Super 17. The android stops and sets his aim towards Dr. Gero. The Red Ribbon Army leader is shocked, and Dr. Mew reveals that he made it so that Super 17 would only obey orders from him. He then commands Super 17 to destroy Dr. Gero. As the old nemesis of Goku perishes, he laments his misfortune in how his creation has turned against him for a second time. As Vegeta gets up and is just about to fight again, Goku arrives and knocks him out of the way of Super 17's energy blast. Vegeta cites how it's about time Goku arrived and proceeds to faint from exhaustion. Dr. Mew is not worried because he feels that Super 17 is more than a match for Goku. Goku decides to prove him wrong and transforms into a Super Saiyan, ready to commence battle. Goku punches Super 17 in the abdomen and sends him flying. Super 17 then fires his attack towards Goku, but Goku counters with another punch to the gut. Super 17 retaliates with a flurry of punches and kicks and fires the Super Flash Bomber once again, which sends Goku flying the opposite way. At the same time, Dr. Mu celebrates the strength that Super 17 has, but Goku reveals he has a surprise in store. Goku sends an energy blast toward Super 17. The android pretends to be hurt, so Goku fires more energy blasts at him, not knowing that he's making Super 17 stronger. Goku charges at Super 17 and uses the Kamehameha. Goku thinks he's won until Super 17 bursts out and uses a direct attack on Goku. This sends Goku soaring. Dr. Mu taunts Goku to come out, to which he does, but in his Super Saiyan 4 form. Bulma's at Chi-Chi's home. Realizing she has no means to get a hold of Goku given he doesn't have a cell phone, she wonders whether she should just buy him one. Chi-Chi comes out ready for battle with her broomstick as her weapon. Even Videl shows up, dressed up in her Great Saiyan Woman attire, ready to help. Bulma and Bulla also decide to follow them. Goku still not realised that hurling Ki Blast 17's way will only make the android more powerful, and so he blasts away at him. Super 17 pretends to hide in the trees, but it's really a trap to ambush Goku and gain more energy. Goku complies and follows him in. By the time they reach the other end of the forest, Goku's figured things out. He realizes that Super 17 can absorb energy, so he decides to try and defeat him by overloading him with Ki Blasts. Super 17 causes the trees to rise up, and Dr. Mu is shocked to see Goku still alive as he launches a 10 times Kamehameha. Goku's clearly underestimated Super 17's capacity to absorb energy as he continues to grow bigger and stronger. Goku reveals to Super 17 that he's aware that the android is feeding off his attacks just like Android 19 did in the past. Goku's left stumped on what to do next as his plan has majorly backfired and now left him at a huge power disadvantage. Dr. Mu finally gets tired of Goku's voice and orders Super 17 to finish him off. Goku ploys to get Super 17 to use up the excess energy he's taken from him, and he does so by allowing Super 17 to attack him at will. Goku attempts to use instant transmission, but Super 17 is able to time him and counters with an energy wave to Goku's face. Videl carries Chi-Chi to the battlefield, and Chi-Chi voices how she's scared, going on to complain the entire way there. Following them both in a hovercar are Bulma and Bulla. Bulma highlights her concern on how the Earth is changing and she wonders if they can return it back to normal. Dr. Mu has Super 17 prepare his Electro Eclipse bomb, which 17 launches straight at Goku. Luckily, Goku's smart enough to use instant transmission, and he comes up right behind and catches Super 17 off guard. Dr. Mu declares the match to be a stalemate, but Goku reveals that he's ready to die to stop Dr. Mu and Super 17's evil plans. Super 17 begins to panic and tries to find a way to break free of Goku's grip. Goku starts gathering the energy around him and begins to turn himself into a bomb. A massive explosion fills the skies, causing the earth to literally shake. Vegeta, who's regained consciousness, thinks that Goku has gone too far. When the smoke clears, Goku is shown to still be alive but has reverted back to his kid form. Goku lays on the ground from sheer exhaustion. With Super 17 nowhere in sight, Dr. Mu thinks he's finally lost, but Super 17 emerges from the water. He reveals that he'd shielded himself at the last moment, which saved his and Goku's lives. As Super 17 prepares to kill Goku, none other than Android 18 steps in front of Goku to protect him. She tells Super 17 if he fires, he'll destroy them both, as she has a bomb in her chest. He calls her bluff, so she rips part of her shirt off, daring him to attack. Goku realizes she's bluffing, as they had Shenron remove the bomb implanted within her many years ago, but Super 17 is not aware of this fact. 18 also promises to avenge her husband's murder. She also cites that 17 has changed for the worse, and she'll never forgive him for killing Krillin. Instead of firing at 18, Super 17 changes targets and kills Dr. Mu, after Mu makes the mistake of berating him for not immediately destroying his sister. Goku and 18 are shocked by this, but 18 decides to fire a barrage of Ki Blasts at Super 17. Super 17 starts absorbing the Ki Blasts, and Goku warns 18 that all she's doing is powering him up. 18 doesn't care, as she says that she'd rather die than allow 17 to win. She also adds if she stops attacking, they'll both die. Goku realizes that Super 17 can't defend himself when he's absorbing energy blasts, so he charges at the android and penetrates through his abdomen with his Super Dragon Fist attack. Super 17 is fatally wounded by the attack, and Goku proceeds to completely vaporize him with a Kamehameha. Vegeta praises Goku, showing how, although they are rivals to the end, the two have become dear friends, albeit they show it in an unconventional manner. Goku goes on to comfort 18 and points out that the original 17 won because he turned on Dr. Mute and that her brother must have been in there somewhere, as he didn't have to absorb all her attacks in the first place. Goku then tells 18 that Krillin will be proud of her for avenging his death. Chi-Chi, Videl, Bola and Bulma arrive on the battlefield ready to fight Super 17, but Goku tells them that the battle is already over. They decide to gather the Dragon Balls in order to resurrect Krillin and the rest of Super 17's victims, as well as stop the natural disasters that are plaguing the Earth. Remember earlier the 4th star Dragon Ball was beginning to crack? But we're about to find out what that means as we journey into the final arc of Dragon Ball GT. But before we do, those of you who have made it this far, I just wanted to say thank you. Also, if you're enjoying the video and would like to see more content like this, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. The entire gang are together, having now gathered all the Dragon Balls, but they are shocked to see that the Dragon Balls are all cracked. They decide to summon Shenron to figure out what's going on. Immediately Goku senses an unknown evil amongst them. Smoke oozes out the Dragon Balls, coalescing into a large blue dragon that none of the gang have ever seen before. The group is left scratching their heads after the Dragon Balls fail to produce Shenron. The Dark Dragon mocks the idea of granting wishes as Pan demands he do so. Calmly lighting a cigar, he takes pleasure in Pan's fear, flaunting his superiority over the group. Using his powers, the dragon levitates the Dragon Balls around himself before sucking them into his body. He then goes on to unleash the Shadow Dragons on the world, leaving behind an aurora across the sky. King Kai warns the group about this dragon. Before King Kai can explain what's happening, Old Kai interrupts to lecture the group of their overuse of the Dragon Balls, which has caused a disruption to the natural order of things. He goes on to explain that the dragons which were created are not only capable of destroying planet Earth, but the entire universe too. Annoyed by the elders yelling, Bulma demands he be quiet, and they enter into an argument about respect and who's to blame for the overuse of the Dragon Balls, as Old Kai highlights how the creation of the Dragon Radar by Bulma is what led to the ease of gathering all the balls, which would normally take at least 100 years to do so prior to the radar's invention. Kibito Kai brings order to the group and explains that every positive wish they made created an equal and opposite negative energy. Without proper time to dissipate naturally, which normally takes about 100 years per wish, the evil reached critical mass and was unleashed upon the universe. As Kibito Kai finishes his explanation, Mr. Pol Pot arrives to tell of the planet Eros. This planet also had a shadow dragon appear, and not long after, the planet and every star in its galaxy vanished. Old Kai reiterates the dangers of overuse of the Dragon Balls, and again blames Bulma, who shifts the blame to Dende for not warning the group. Knowing that shifting the blame to Dende isn't working, Bulma attempts to retell the story of her youth when she first met Goku, citing that she was helpless and corruptible until Goku came along and convinced her to hunt down the Dragon Balls. To Bulma's surprise, Goku naively takes full responsibility without argument and calmly prepares to fix the mess he now believes he's gotten everyone into. Old Kai warns Goku that he has little time to defeat the dragons. Gohan tries to join his father, but Goku insists against it. The family send Goku off with well wishes. As he flies off, Pan slips away unnoticed. During flight, Goku notices a horrible trail of devastation stretched out below him. We get a glimpse of the Shadow Dragons settling in their respective environments. Nova Shenron finds a home inside a volcano, causing it to explode and destroy a village. Ice Shenron flies through the mountains, coating his body in ice before finally resting. Rage Shenron is seen as lightning in a thunderstorm, coming down into a city and causing a massive explosion. Oceana Shenron is shown decimating a city with a ferocious tornado. Naturon Shenron is shown coming out of the ground as a dragon made of dirt. And Haze Shenron is shown as a large whirlpool dragon who comes out in his more familiar form, before polluting and destroying all living things over a large radius. As Goku begins his search, he realizes that he left the Dragon Radar behind. As he turns around to go back and get the Dragon Radar, he sees Pan has been following him the whole time. Lucky for Goku, Pan had the foresight to bring Giru with her as he has a Dragon Radar built inside him. However, Pan insists that if she doesn't go, neither does Giru. Against his best judgment, Goku reluctantly allows Pan to come with him. They ask Giru where the nearest Dragon Ball is located, and out of fear, he doesn't give any answer more specific than down below. Goku and Pan notice villagers running through a polluted corridor of sludge. They spot Hei's Shenron terrorizing an innocent woman. Pan becomes so angry that she goes flying towards Hei's, kicking him in the face, which sends him soaring. He tries to intimidate her by speaking aggressively, but he's made to look like a fool when rubble lands on his foot, leaving him sobbing in pain, which leads them all to believe that he's weak. Hei's insists that he's the strongest of the 7 evil dragons. Pan smacks Hei's Shenron into a cliff and asks for the 2-star Dragon Ball. Hei's Shenron begins to grow in size, making Goku believe that he'll transform, but the dragon says that he doesn't have that ability. Hei's says that transformations are for cowards who are cornered, and that a truly strong warrior doesn't need them. Pan begins to use Hei's Shenron as a punching bag and beats him all over the area. She then asks for the 2-star Dragon Ball again, but Hei's says that the fight has just begun. Goku tells Hei's that he doesn't have any chance against Pan given the power difference between them, and adds how the dragon's power is at a similar level to Mr. Satan's. Hei's attacks with his tail, but Pan dodges out of the way and drop kicks him from the sky. The dragon asks Pan if she's collecting the Dragon Balls to make herself less ugly, and for that remark, Pan beats him up even worse than before. As Hei's begins to laugh, Goku says that something strange is happening because Pan is getting more fatigued while Hei's isn't even out of breath. Pan attacks again, but to her surprise, Hei's is able to block all her punches. The dragon then punches Pan in the stomach and Goku charges at him, but his attack is dodged and both Pan and Goku's heads are butted together. The pair attack again, but Pan is locked into Hei's grip while Goku is tail slapped away. Hei says that he's going to eat Pan now, but Goku is determined to stop him by transforming into his Super Saiyan form. However, he reverts back to his base form, leaving him to wonder what's going on. The dragon tells them to look at the polluted lake as it's the source of them losing their power. Hei's body releases negative energy which turns the lake's water into poison. It removes life energy from the air, killing all life surrounding it. Pan understands now that it's not Hei's Shenron who got stronger, but that they got weaker instead. Goku says that it's an unfair trick, but Hei says that he's just speeding up the process that Goku himself started. Pan wants to know what he means by that. Hei's asks Goku if he remembers a boy named Upa. Goku does indeed remember Upa, who he met many years ago. Upa's father was killed by mercenary Tao, and Goku used the Dragon Balls to ask Shenron to resurrect him. Hei says that he was born from the negative energy produced from that very wish, and thanks Goku for bringing him into existence. Hei then uses Pan like a bowling ball and rolls her at Goku. Goku vows to defeat him, but Hei taunts Goku by highlighting how he can barely stand and goes on to fire a mouth blast towards him. As Hei is about to throw them into the poisoned lake, Giru tries to stop him by firing missiles, which do 0 damage to the dragon. Hei's tail smacks Giru into the lake and throws Goku and Pan into the water as well. Pan wishes either Gohan, Videl, Trunks, Goten or even Mr. Satan would save her. She's saved by none other than Giru, who drags both Goku and Pan into an area of water that remains untouched. A spring is keeping the water pure in that area of the lake, and Pan comes up with the idea of riding it to the surface using the Kamehameha to gain momentum. Hei celebrates his apparent victory and says that if he can cover the whole earth with his pollution, then the earth will become his paradise. Pan and Goku appear behind him, with their energy fully restored thanks to the spring. Realizing this, Hei is now scared and flies towards the lake, but Goku and Pan fire Kamehameha together, disintegrating him except for the 2-star Dragon Ball. The Dragon Ball then repairs itself and returns to its original color. Goku and Pan next stumble upon an abandoned city. They are warned away by a couple who blame the mass exodus on a slime that absorbs electricity. Goku and Pan find Rage Shenron, the 5-star dragon. The two are unimpressed by his tiny appearance, not so much taller than a can of pop. However, Rage Shenron still boasts that his abilities are far superior to anything Goku and Pan can achieve. Rage Shenron demonstrates his abilities with his electric slime, a slimy substance that can electrocute anything it's latched onto. The dragon then demonstrates his ability to turn himself into a titan by absorbing his energized electric slime. He goes on to reveal that the wish that brought him to life was when Master Roshi asked Shenron to revive Goku after he'd instructed Piccolo to kill Raditz as he held on to his brother, knowing that he too would be killed. Goku transforms into his Super Saiyan 4 form, which angers Rage Shenron. Rage Shenron's electric attacks proves to be ineffective against Goku. Goku attempts to finish the fight by destroying Rage and his electric slime with a 10 times Kamehameha, but surprisingly, Rage not only survives the attack, but his electric slime is able to absorb the energy from Goku's attack before sending it back toward Goku. Goku shields Pan from this counter move, thus taking the brunt of his own attack. Having taken a tremendous amount of damage, Goku is forced to revert to his child base form. Rage proceeds with his assault by draining the remaining amount of electricity in the city, making his electric slime grow to an astronomical size, making it very difficult for Goku and Pan to escape. Using his slime, Rage manages to capture both Pan and Goku. Unfortunately for the dragon, luck has favoured the two Z fighters as it begins to rain, inducing an explosive short circuit throughout his entire slime body. Goku and Pan watch as the Shadow Dragon tries in vain to scatter his electric slime again. This, however, proves impossible due to the slime's enormous surface area, and so Rage is unable to take any shelter. After the ensuing explosion of his slime body, Rage is forced to return to his original size. Goku and Pan find him badly injured amid the rubble and ask that he give up. Rage consents, stating that Pan can take his Dragon Ball and says that she and Goku had earned it. However, as Pan reaches out her hand to take the Dragon Ball, Rage makes a last-ditch attempt to kill her, but Goku intervenes and destroys the Shadow Dragon with a close-range Kamehameha. As Goku, Pan and Giru continue their search for the next Shadow Dragon, they come upon a seemingly deserted village. All is quiet until an octopus falls from the sky and lands on Pan's head. Soon, more fish and other sea creatures follow, prompting the men of the village to gather up the rich harvest. Soon afterward, a skeptical young boy named Colm appears. Colm explains that the fish are ruining the village's men as they become lazy and now party all day. He adds how all the seagulls in the area have been harmed and can no longer fly. He explains that the food is being dropped from the sky by Princess Otto, who's really Oceanus Shenron. The next time she appears, Giru detects a Dragon Ball coming from her direction. It is then that Goku and Pan realize that she's not who she seems. Goku warns the villagers and they all run for safety. This angers Oceanus, who flies up to Goku and Pan and reveals her name to them. She explains that she was created from the perverted wish of Oolong the pig, who wished for a pair of panties in order to foil Emperor Pilaf's scheme. It's evident how embarrassed she is by the wish from which she originated. In a fit of rage, Oceanus attacks Pan and Goku. They promptly strike back, but she deflects their attacks without blinking. She counters with an attack that completely tears off Goku's clothing, leaving him butt naked. Goku cites that he doesn't mind being naked at all, to which Pan responds by promptly giving Goku another set of clothing without a single word. Oceanus Shenron's last attack lends information to Goku. He realizes that the secret of Oceanus' attack lies in the way she spins while attacking. After Goku informs Oceanus of this, she momentarily transforms from a beautiful woman into a rather hideous dragon. Oceanus reverts back to her feminine form and says that no one who's seen her true form has ever lived to tell about it. Goku decides to try out her spinning technique and the two continue to battle as vortexes. Goku lands a solid punch on her face, but Oceanus returns with a gust of wind that sends Goku deep into the cliff behind him. Goku is battered by the attack, and it looks as though there's no way to stop it. The seagull that Colm was carrying earlier unexpectedly flies into the eye of the tornado surrounding Oceanus and begins to attack her face. This distracts Oceanus for a little while, but not long enough for Goku to recover. She uses the same attack again, pushing him further into the cliff wall. Pan realizes that the eye of the tornado surrounding Oceanus is the key to defeating her, so she fires a Kamehameha into it, striking Oceanus and causing her to assume her true form again. Goku seizes this opportunity to attack and uses a massive Kamehameha that totally obliterates Oceanus, and thus the 6-star Dragon Ball is now back in their possession. The fishermen of the village express their gratitude to the duo and promise to work harder than ever. The episode ends with Pan inviting Comb to Mount Paozu for flying lessons. The trio resume their search for the next Shadow Dragon. Giru senses a Dragon Ball below them. The trio land, but no Shadow Dragon is in sight. Giru repeats that the Dragon Ball is underneath them. Goku begins to dig, but he's interrupted by an earth-shaking force and tone-deaf singing. The source of both is Neituron Shenron, a purple mole-like dragon digging through the earth and singing about his love causing earthquakes. At first, it appears he can't see Goku, Pan or Giru, so Goku screams into his ear, getting his attention. Neituron's surprised to see Goku and admits that he's not much of a fighter, but he still refuses to give up his Dragon Ball. He resumes his digging while Goku tries to anger him with insults. When that fails, Pan fires a massive ki blast at the Shadow Dragon to no avail. Neituron continues tunneling, causing Goku and Pan to realize he's heading right toward a city. Goku rushes off to warn the people of the city, and Pan follows suit after stuffing Giru in her backpack. They both arrive just as the earthquake is starting to be felt, and they immediately go to work saving the civilians from certain death. As Pan wonders what wish spawned this dragon, Neituron reveals he was created by the wish that brought back the people killed by Majin Vegeta at the World Martial Arts Tournament. He then attacks them, but Pan quickly realizes that the blast can be avoided easily if they take to the air. This only angers Neituron, and he fires a barrage of aftershocks at Goku and Pan, which they easily dodge before landing on his head and frying him with his own attack. Neituron falls to the ground and explodes, sending the 7-star Dragon Ball into Pan's hands. Suddenly, the Dragon Ball turns into a sphere of blue light, sucking Pan into itself. Despite Goku's effort, Pan is absorbed by the ball, which swells and transforms into Neituron Shenron, now bigger, bluer and more dragon-like than before. The 7-star dragon laughs at Goku, explaining that he was tricking them the whole time. He reveals that he had taken over the body of a mole until the heroes defeated him. He then used his Dragon Ball to possess Pan's body. With his power exponentially increased with his new host, Neituron attacks Goku, with the intention of wearing Goku out so he can take over his body next. Goku faces a heart-wrenching decision, as the only way to retrieve the 7-star Dragon Ball is by destroying the dragon, which would mean destroying his granddaughter. Goku goes Super Saiyan 4, causing Neituron to panic. Neituron reminds Goku that he'll also kill Pan if he attacks. Knowing that Pan would rather die than see more people get killed, Goku unleashes the 10 times Kamehameha on the dragon. However, the blast doesn't have enough energy to kill Neituron because Goku subconsciously holds back, unable to kill his own grandchild. Goku begins to give in, rapidly losing energy as he's beaten and blasted. Neituron gets cocky and claims that he's the most powerful of his brothers and will be the one and only true Shenron. He even starts using some of Shenron's classic lines. Goku doesn't respond and suddenly closes his eyes. Thinking he's won, Neituron taunts Goku by partially releasing Pan from his stomach. Pan tries to convince her grandfather to fight, but her pleas seem in vain. As Neituron reels Pan back in, he continues to mock Goku by using another one of Shenron's signature quotes. Suddenly, Goku wakes up, grabbing Pan and pulling her out of the dragon. Goku reveals that he deliberately held back and allowed Neituron to beat him up, making him confident enough to give Goku the opportune moment to remove his granddaughter from the dragon's body. With Pan now removed from him, Neituron reverts to his true form, a small brown creature whose head is barely larger than the Dragon Ball on his scalp. It's revealed that Neituron himself is very weak. The only way he can increase his power is to absorb another living thing. Desperate, he tries to absorb a bird, but Goku blocks his path, berating Neituron for harming others. Neituron tries begging for mercy as a ploy to lower Goku's guard, but his ki blast does not faze the Saiyan. Fed up with his underhanded tactics, Goku brutally beats up the Shadow Dragon before killing him with a 10 times Kamehameha. With the 4-star Dragon Ball safely in their possession, Goku and Pan set off in search of the 5th. After Goku locates the next ball in a nearby city, the trio land. Standing in their way is Nova Shenron, the Shadow Dragon of Fire. Pan, who's grown too confident for her own good, goes in to attack alone. Nova knocks it out with ease. Goku demands the dragon put Pan down, but much to his surprise, Nova spares Pan and throws her out of harm's way. Nova reveals that the wish that created him was when the evil King Piccolo wished for his youth back. Goku and Nova commence their battle. Nova's able to raise his body temperature higher than even the sun. Goku attempts to take cover inside a building to wait for the right time to counter-attack, but he's unable to shake Nova off his tail. Meanwhile, as Giru watches over an unconscious Pan, he's suddenly attacked by another Shadow Dragon who damages him, steals the Dragon Balls and attacks Pan. When Goku and Nova go back outside during their battle, Goku learns that Nova gets his energy from the sun, which means his energy supply is limitless. Goku hits him with a solar flare, though it causes him no damage. Nova powers up by breaking out of his shell and accesses his full power. In response, Goku powers up to Super Saiyan 4. Though Vegeta and Goku set aside their differences many years ago and became friends, Vegeta once again recalls his eagerness to prove himself better than Goku. He didn't think he could be beaten by a lower class Saiyan, and yet he was. Then he recalls all the times he surpassed Goku, only for Goku to find a higher level and surpass him once again. Vegeta begins to question whether it's his destiny to always be second best. After clearing his head, Vegeta grabs a beer and heads out to see his wife, who's working on her computer. They watch a replay of the battle between Goku and the baby-possessed Vegeta. Bulma voices a hypothesis of hers, a way for Vegeta to reach Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta's lost for words and is in disbelief as there's nothing in the universe he wants more. Bulma even begins to joke that Vegeta could reach Super Saiyan 5, but first they make it a goal to have Vegeta reach Super Saiyan 4 and finally be even with Goku. She deduces that the reason Vegeta never transformed into a Super Saiyan 4 when he reached the Golden Ozaru form and managed to regain control of the Great Ape was due to Baby contaminating his Saiyan blood. In essence, if she can focus enough Blutz waves directly at Vegeta, he should be able to reach the Great Ape form once again without the need of a tail, thus opening the possibility of him reaching Super Saiyan 4. Goku and Nova Shenron continue their fight, with Nova firing a fiery energy wave that clashes with Goku's Kamehameha, creating a huge explosion that sends nearby vehicles flying into surrounding buildings. As the explosion fades, Nova and Goku trade blows until Nova resorts to firing a fiery energy wave from his right hand. Goku dodges and tries to counter-attack with a punch, but it fails as Nova ends up putting Goku in a headlock before firing a ki blast in his face, sending Goku flying into a nearby building. Nova Shenron then flies to Goku, waiting as he recovers and opens his eyes before firing his flaming shot. Goku manages to escape the impact crater before the blast hits, producing a spherical fiery explosion. Nova manages to outrun Goku as he charges a Kamehameha, grabbing him and forcing the Saiyan to fire the attack at a nearby building. Goku comments how the Shadow Dragon is faster than him, but highlights how he has more power. While within Nova Shenron's grasp, Goku charges a 10 times Kamehameha, mixing in after images of himself to avoid being grabbed again by the Shadow Dragon. As Goku's after images surround him, Nova decides to stop chasing Goku and closes his eyes. Using his ki, Nova Shenron figures out which one is the real Goku when he stops to fire a 10 times Kamehameha he'd been charging. Nova Shenron blasts Super Saiyan 4 Goku before he can finish his attack. When the two take their fight into an abandoned building below, Goku manages to trick Nova using a mirror and corners the Shadow Dragon with nowhere to go. With Goku winning his battle against Nova, the Noble Dragon asks Goku to kill him, but Goku spares the dragon's life in exchange for not killing Pan when he had the chance. Now even, Goku says he can fight Nova with all his strength. But things get complicated when Ice Shenron shows up and reveals he's Nova's brother. When Ice holds up Pan's backpack, Goku realizes that during his battle with Nova, Ice stole the Dragon Balls and attacked Pan. Seeing her staggering in the streets below, Goku flies down to comfort his injured granddaughter, who apologizes for failing to protect the Dragon Balls before she loses consciousness. Ice freezes Goku's arms while berating Nova for being soft. Nova tells his brother that it's not weakness, but him following his code of honor. He tells Ice not to interfere in his battle with Goku. After Goku shows he can still fight well with just his legs, Ice freezes those two, eventually freezing up his entire body. Ice then orders Nova to finally finish off Goku. Nova, however, melts the ice off Goku's body, much to his brother's frustration. Goku continues to battle with the meddling Ice Dragon, claiming that he will defeat him in only 10 seconds, highlighting how little Goku thinks of Ice's power. Having encased the entire city in ice, Ice Shenron begins his bout with Super Saiyan 4 Goku. After pummeling Ice to the ground, Goku is about to finish him off, but the dragon grabs an unconscious Pan and uses her as a shield. Ice takes the opportunity to throw Pan at Goku and then kicks the Saiyan while he's defenseless. Goku grabs hold of Ice's foot and gets right in the dragon's face, furious at him for using his granddaughter as a shield. Goku throws him into another building and prepares to finish Ice off with a Kamehameha, but then the dragon flies around Nova Shenron, using his brother this time to get Goku to drop his guard once again. Ice takes advantage of Goku letting his guard down and freezes him in ice. After being berated by Nova for such a cowardly move, Ice is about to destroy Goku, until Goku successfully breaks free from the ice and stops Ice Shenron's energy beam dead in its tracks. Still furious at Ice for using both his granddaughter and Nova as shields, Goku threatens to kill the cowardly dragon at point blank range until Ice begins to beg for his life and even offers up the Dragon Ball he holds. Nova advises Goku to just take the Dragon Ball. Goku agrees and orders Ice to never show himself again. Unbeknownst to Goku, Ice Shenron discreetly digs his finger into the ice, forming ice claws on his fingers, and swipes them across Goku's eyes, blinding him. Ice is about to finish Goku off, but Goku's other 4 very sharp senses are still intact, which he displays by impaling Ice through the chest with his fist. Goku finishes him off with his Dragon Fist attack. While washing his eyes out in an attempt to reverse his blindness, Goku is given an antidote by Nova, which will restore his sight. Nova explains to Goku that unlike Ice, he has respect for a fair fight and will return once Goku's eyes have healed. However, Nova is shot in the back by an energy beam, which also shatters the antidote Goku was holding. The stranger steps out of the shadows to reveal himself to be Sin Shenron, the 1-star dragon and the most powerful shadow dragon of all. Sin voices his disgust and Nova's mercy towards Goku and for giving him an antidote. Sin then fires another blast, this time aimed at Goku. Nova hurls himself in front of Goku and protects him. Before he dies, Nova apologizes to Goku, saying he wanted to settle their fight fairly. Enraged, Goku gets up, ready to fight. Disregarding Goku's outrage, Sin condemns him by reminding him that it was his fault that the Shadow Dragons were born due to overusing the Dragon Balls. The fight begins with Sin having the upper hand. Goku's no match for Sin, who fires his own energy ball at Goku, which tracks him wherever he goes until it hits him head on. This results in Goku being launched into a building, barely holding on to a metal rod by his pant cuff. Pan, having regained consciousness, sees her grandfather in danger and calls for help. Just as Sin Shenron is about to finish off the unconscious Goku, he's saved in the nick of time by Goten, who arrives along with Gohan, Trunks and Marjube. Also tagging along with them are Chi-Chi, Videl and Mr. Satan. While Goku is thankful for the help, he says that even all together they won't be able to defeat this dragon. However, Gohan acknowledges this and instead has another plan. They all plan to provide Goku with their energy in order to restore him to full strength, just as they did when he fought baby Vegeta. As they begin the process of restoring Goku to full power, Sin decides he won't give them the time that they need and launches an attack. Goku uses the power he'd received so far to save everyone just in the nick of time, and they begin the process once again. However, Goku says that even at full power, he won't be able to defeat this dragon, and instead asks that they continue to give him additional power so that he can once again surpass his limits, knowing full well the risks that may come with it. While the Saiyans give Goku their energy, Marjube fends off the dragon. Although it's clear Marjube is no match for the Shadow Dragon, he's able to stall him long enough for Goku to boost up his energy level and raise the ceiling of his Super Saiyan 4 powers. When Goku begins to fight Sin Shenron as an upgraded Super Saiyan 4, it's evident that Sin is no match for him anymore, even with Goku still blinded. Even Sin Shenron's cheap tricks have no effect on Goku. Goku then seemingly finishes the Shadow Dragon off with a Kamehameha and everyone begins to celebrate. Pan attempts to gather the fallen Dragon Balls, but they start being pulled away and she's shocked to see Sin Shenron is still standing. Sin then eats the 7 Dragon Balls and powers up to an even more deadly version of himself. After ingesting the Dragon Balls, the ultimate Shadow Dragon, Omega Shenron, is born. To push Goku to fight better, Omega attacks his family and friends. Omega is able to use all the abilities of the previous Shadow Dragons Goku had fought. Goku eventually regains his vision, much to Omega's surprise, and performs his most powerful attack, the Dragon Fist. Goku is able to blow Omega up, but the dragon simply regenerates back together. Becoming ever more desperate to save his family and the Earth, Goku decides to self-destruct himself just like he attempted against Super 17. He grabs a hold of Omega from behind and almost completes the technique, but Vegeta arrives in the nick of time to tell him not to do it. Vegeta, having had first-hand experience with self-destructing, he knows Goku will only succeed in killing himself and not Omega. Vegeta then tells Goku that he has the tool he needs to reach Super Saiyan 4, much to Goku's shock. Thanks to Bulma's Blitzwave generator, Vegeta transforms into a regular Ozaru. At first, Vegeta seems to have lost control of himself and begins crushing Goku. However, Vegeta states that he was simply fooling them and transforms into a golden grey ape, showing that he has his faculties intact. Shortly thereafter, he transforms once again, now having reached Super Saiyan 4, the pinnacle of Saiyan strength. Everyone is amazed by the overwhelming power the 2 Super Saiyan 4s have. Chi-Chi and Bulma have their usual quarrel over whose husband is the best. The 2 Super Saiyan 4s head off against Omega, and Goku is brimming with confidence. However, Vegeta shocks him once again by admitting that if he and Goku attack the dragon now, they'll both die. Vegeta then makes a suggestion that no one could have anticipated. He suggests that they fuse. Omega is overly excited at the opportunity to test his might against 2 Super Saiyan 4s and moves in to attack them both. However, Trunks, Gohan and Goten move in to stop him and buy their fathers time to fuse successfully. As Goku is standing there idle, taking in the moment with pride as he watches his and Vegeta's sons fight together, Vegeta reminds Goku that they need to hurry and fuse. As Trunks, Gohan and Goten are defeated, Goku and Vegeta finally fuse using the fusion dance to become Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Although Omega is baffled by the technique and impressed at the increase of power in Gogeta, he still proclaims himself to be the strongest. However, the tables have turned as Omega Shenron suddenly cannot seem to land a blow on Gogeta. Gogeta is so astronomically powerful that he makes child's play of the most powerful foe within the Dragon Ball universe. The issue is, it appears he can't help himself but troll the dragon. It turns out that Gogeta was just stalling for Omega to have enough so that he can launch his negative Karma Ball. Once Omega Shenron launches the attack towards Gogeta, Gogeta kicks the ball into the ozone layer. When he makes contact with the negative Karma Ball, he transfers some of his own life energy into it, which transforms the negative energy within the ball into positive energy. As it detonates in the sky, the positive energy within it disperses around the entire globe, which frees the Earth of the negative barrier that was interspersed around. Gogeta is no longer playing games and goes on to perform the Big Bang Kamehameha on Omega Shenron, obliterating him and thus releasing the Dragon Balls. However, the Shadow Dragon manages to regenerate, but he's severely wounded, having reverted back to Sin Shenron. Gogeta charges the Big Bang Kamehameha once more to finish off the dragon. However, as he's about to launch the attack, the fusion time is up, and Goku and Vegeta separate. Goku's left bewildered, as not even 10 minutes had passed. Vegeta asks Goku why the fusion didn't last the regular 30 minutes. Goku says that it's due to the enormous power level of combining 2 Super Saiyan 4s which led to the shortening of the fusion time. With the fusion cut short, Sin Shenron rejoices in their failure, but Vegeta refutes him by stating that he could defeat him in his current state all by himself. The dragon tries to reclaim the Dragon Balls, but Goku intercepts the last one, the 4-star Dragon Ball, which is the same Dragon Ball that was handed down to him by his grandpa Gohan. Besides the 4-star ball, Sin Shenron successfully retrieves the rest of them and thus is able to return to being Omega Shenron. Goku and Vegeta try to regain their winning form by doing the fusion dance, as Omega Shenron tries to regain his full power by ingesting the 4-star Dragon Ball. To prevent Omega from reclaiming it, Goku eats the 4-star Dragon Ball himself, nearly choking to death before swallowing it. Omega says that he'll now have to kill Goku to get it, but Vegeta says he'll not let that happen and tries to attack but is unable to land a hit on Omega. Goku also struggles to touch him, but manages to cause Omega some pain by headbutting him from the rear. Goku later gives Omega a lecture, saying people who are bad are just scared because they know their lives can be taken away easily, adding that one must be good if they want good things to happen to them. Omega brushes it off, but Vegeta says that he himself had to learn the hard way and that Omega should listen to Goku. Omega ignores them and throws them around like toys. Vegeta is baffled that Omega is making a joke out of 2 Super Saiyan 4s, which is the peak of Saiyan ability. Goku and Vegeta try several times to fuse as a last resort, but Omega Shenron, knowing he stands no chance should they become Gogeta again, refuses to let them fuse. Goku and Vegeta decide to use the after image technique to create duplicates of themselves, which prevents Omega from telling which ones are the real them and which ones are the duplicates. They manage to perform the dance but fail to fuse. Vegeta asks why, and Goku says it could be that Vegeta didn't extend his index fingers, which later turns out not to be true. Trunks thinks that it could be because Goku is out of power due to his long battle against Omega, also factoring in he has also fought Nova and Ice too without breaks. Omega, realizing this, tells Goku and Vegeta that they can give it another try. Unfortunately, in this try, Goku reverts to his child form, which leaves everyone, especially Vegeta, horrified. As Omega is preparing to move in for the kill, the 4-star Dragon Ball suddenly appears on Goku's forehead, but Goku doesn't realize this, even when Vegeta gives him an obvious hint. Pan tells Goku to feel his forehead. As Omega Shenron moves in to retrieve the Dragon Ball from Goku, the Dragon Ball starts glowing and flies in between Omega and Goku, revealing itself to be Nova Shenron. Goku is happy to see him, but Nova is cold and speaks with Omega, who tells him to kill Goku. Nova seems excited and tells Goku that he will not be merciful this time round. Vegeta attacks Nova, but the Shadow Dragon is too fast for him and blasts him away. Nova then goes on to attack Goku. Trunks checks on his father, who's unharmed. Vegeta realizes that Nova is fooling them and was not trying to hurt him or Goku. His suspicions are confirmed when Omega tells Nova to finish Goku off so he can fight someone better, but to his surprise, Nova and Goku attack Omega together. Omega's baffled, given that Nova should have been under the influence of his negative energy, but when Goku swallowed the 4-star Dragon Ball, some of Goku's positive energy was passed on to Nova. Nova binds Omega and traps them in a fireball, planning to burn and destroy Omega himself. When the ball explodes, Nova appears and it seems that it's over. However, Nova breaks apart and Omega reappears. Omega explains how he forced the Dragon Balls he held inside Nova, essentially moving himself into Nova's body. He now has all 7 Dragon Balls and is as powerful as before. Vegeta tries to power up, but reverts to his base form as he too has run out of energy. With both Goku and Vegeta drained of power and no longer able to perform the fusion dance or even become Super Saiyan 4, all hope seems lost. Growing bored with Goku and Vegeta's bickering, Omega unleashes the negative Karma Ball, intending to destroy the entire Earth with it. Vegeta stands ready, not willing to lose those dear to him as well as the planet he now calls home. As the negative Karma Ball nears, Goku pushes Vegeta out of the way and holds it at bay with all his might. As he continues to struggle holding back the negative energy, Goku comes to understand that the Earth has suffered far too much for too long because he and his friends abused the power of the Dragon Balls. Goku pleads for the strength to defeat Omega and, in return, promises that he and his friends will survive from now on without using them. The negative energy proves too much for Goku to handle and eventually explodes, leaving a city-sized crater in the Earth. It becomes apparent that Goku used his own body to shield the Earth from the explosion. His friends and family mourn, assuming that Goku was killed in the blast. Omega then creates a massive aura of negative energy which encompasses the Earth, proclaiming that once he's finished with Earth, he'll go on to destroy the entire universe. Realizing that he's fighting a losing battle, Vegeta immediately orders Trunks, Gohan and Goten to get everyone as far away from Earth as possible, while he holds off Omega for as long as he can, and once he has perished, they must continue in his stead to protect the others. Trunks, Gohan and Goten get their families far away, only to say goodbye to them and return to aid Vegeta in his last stand. Vegeta is glad and proud that the three of them return to take a final stand against the monster. Omega immediately dismantles the four of them, and just as he's about to kill Vegeta, he notices something in the crater. He's shocked to see Goku emerge from the crater with a spirit bomb in hand. As Goku uses all of Earth's remaining energy to make the spirit bomb, he realizes it's not enough to destroy Omega. He contacts King Kai in the other world, asking him to inform everyone in the universe of Earth's plight and requests their energy. The entire universe responds, and Goku successfully gathers the energy he needs. The spirit bomb lifts the darkness covering the globe. Goku thanks everyone in the universe for their help and throws the spirit bomb at Omega Shenron, finally destroying the dragon. With all the shadow dragons defeated, the Dragon Balls return to normal. As everyone rushes to Goku's side, the original Shenron appears without being summoned, a first in Dragon Ball's history. Shenron commands the lifeless Goku to rise, and informs him and the other Z fighters that he will not be granting any wishes for a long time due to the recent events involving the Dragon Balls. Goku asks Shenron if he can grant one final wish for old time's sake, to bring everyone back to life who was killed by Super 17 and the Shadow Dragons. Shenron grants the wish. The Eternal Dragon then asks Goku to come along, and Goku climbs onto Shenron's back. Vegeta asks Goku where he's going. Vegeta believes that Goku is going to train with Shenron, so he listens as Goku tells him that he is now Earth's protector and that the planet's safety is in his hands. As Goku and Shenron fly off, the Dragon Balls circulate around Goku. Chi-Chi tells Goku to be home in time for dinner, and Bulma reminisces about first meeting Goku when she was 16 and searching for the Dragon Balls, saying that she'll miss him. Gohan, Videl and Chi-Chi return to their homes. Goten and Gohan try to comfort Chi-Chi by reminding her that Goku always comes back for dinner. Pan asks Trunks if the Dragon Balls will ever return. Trunks reassures her, confident that they will come back someday. Pan, worried, stumbles upon Goku's gi. Vegeta tells her to take good care of it before flying off, leaving Pan alone with tears in her eyes as she wonders if she'll ever see Goku again. Goku asks Shenron to stop at Kami House to see Krillin, who was revived by the final wish. The two best friends reminisce about the past, with Krillin lamenting how those days are behind him. Goku reassures Krillin and they have a playful sparring match, which Krillin wins. Goku suddenly disappears and Krillin watches contently, having seen his old friend again. Master Roshi, who watched the spar from afar, thanks Shenron for the Dragon Balls and asks him to take care of Goku. Goku also visits Piccolo, who's still in hell. Goku tells Piccolo he'll get him out of hell someday and thanks him before leaving. Many of Goku's old friends, including Yamcha and Puar, as well as Tien and Chaozu, see Goku with Shenron. Feeling tired, Goku lies down on Shenron's back. The Dragon Balls enter Goku's body, with the 4-star Dragon Ball going into his heart. Shenron lets out one final roar before he and Goku disappear. 100 years later, at the 64th Martial Arts Tournament, an elderly Pan is the last living Z fighter. Her grandson, Goku Jr., is participating in the junior division wearing Goku's old gi. A lady resembling Bulma, a descendant of Trunks and Vegeta, sits beside Pan. She asks if Goku Jr. is Pan's son, and Pan replies that he is her grandson. The lady apologizes and states that her son, who will be facing Goku Jr., will still win. In the stadium, there are statues of Mr. Satan and Goku, the most admired heroes in Earth's history. Goku Jr.'s opponent is Vegeta Jr. Their bout begins and they both hit each other hard. Vegeta Jr. transforms into a Super Saiyan, followed by Goku Jr. Vegeta Jr. cites his surprise that they can both become blonde. Pan, watching, sees an adult Goku in the crowd. She runs towards where he was, but the scene returns to the tournament. The winner of the bout is not shown. Pan continues running but does not find Goku. In the English dub, she thinks she was imagining things, while in the original Japanese version, she believes she saw her grandpa. Goku is then shown walking through the crowd. A long flashback of Goku's life plays, showcasing many prominent moments from the Dragon Ball series. After the flashback, Goku catches his power pole, flies off on the flying Nimbus, and shares his final words.
Till we meet again, guys!
And that, ladies and gents, concludes Dragon Ball GT. Where to start with this one? There's so much to unpack here. To those of you who have stuck around up to this point, I just want to say thank you, and please do share your thoughts on GT in the comments below. As a child, when I first watched GT, I'm not gonna lie, overall I really enjoyed it. But even I could tell that something was fundamentally different with GT compared to Z. Now, looking back on the series as an adult, I can see how much of a departure GT was in terms of its tone and vibe as a whole. Whereas we became accustomed to epic battles, transformations and intense action sequences from Z, GT instead opted to focus more on adventure and exploration, having Goku, Pan and Trunks set off on a space adventure across the universe in search of the Black Star Dragon Balls. I didn't really dig the fact that they turned Goku into a child again, as it became clear early on that we were not going to get the same Goku we had toward the end of Z. Instead, we got a severely handicapped version of Goku with a fraction of his strength. The thing is, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense to have him in the smaller form factor, as doing so made the earlier villains like Legic, General Rodo and Lord Lude much more compelling threats. If he'd taken them on in his adult form, he would have completely dismantled them in an instant. Plus, as an adult, he'd have access to the full might of the Super Saiyan form, while having Super Saiyan 2 and 3 on speed dial should he ever need to tap into more of his power. Also, I imagine as an adult, his ability to use instant transmission would have completely eliminated the pressure of gathering the Black Star Dragon Balls within a year, as Goku would be able to take a Dragon Radar and collect them all in a day if he wanted to. I'm glad I rewatched GT after having watched the Dragon Ball Super anime. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Super for what it was, but I can pick out so many more flaws in Super than I found in GT. The argument that GT was too much of a departure from its predecessor can be said for Super 2 in my opinion. Even though Akira Toriyama, may God rest his soul, didn't have direct involvement in GT's story, for me it works better as a cohesive narrative than Super does. GT feels like a story that's come full circle. You see, before Z, we had the original Dragon Ball, which tells a much more grounded story than its successor. The story was simple and focused more heavily on exploration. Fast forward to Z, and Toriyama blew the lid wide open when he introduced the Saiyans, whilst also providing us an explanation to Goku's heritage. This just felt like the natural next progression in the series. I mean, after all, we got androids in the original series, as well as being introduced to an otherworldly species in the Namekian King Piccolo, although we didn't know it at the time. We always wondered as to where Goku came from, and Z provided us the answer, as well as introduced us to a myriad of extremely powerful foes in Raditz, Nappa, Vegeta and the Ginyu Force. This is where the series really started to toy with the idea of humanoid transformations, which all began with Kaioken. Although not actually a transformation but more akin to a technique, the multiplier in strength it rendered to Goku enabled him to overcome the toughest of foe he had faced up to that point. The Kaioken was the beginning of a long list of power-ups which we got throughout the remainder course of Z. Once Goku had to face the Galactic Titan Frieza, we were finally introduced to the Super Saiyan form. Z did an amazing job in setting the foundation for this form by having the characters discuss the allure of the mythical Saiyan legend, so when we finally saw Goku transform, it was a monumental moment for us fans. Here's the thing, Z fell into this clear pattern of having every single enemy be more powerful than the last. The Frieza arc and the Space Tyrants tie-in with the Saiyans' history, and how Goku ended up on Earth was peak writing from Toriyama. After the Frieza saga, Toriyama opted to revisit Goku's past and reintroduce the Red Ribbon Army via the androids and then subsequently Cell. I appreciated the way Toriyama connected the next arc to another past period of Goku's life, similar to the Frieza saga, but this time, viewers of the original already know the history, having witnessed him as a child dismantle the Red Ribbon Army. Plus, adding future Trunks to the fold and the history he tells the heroes of the destruction these androids brought to his timeline really does raise the stakes. But then we got the Buu arc, which for me was by far the weakest and most disjointed arc in Z. Buu was simply evil incarnate, created by Bibidi to be a vessel of destruction, which would enable the Dark Wizard to bend the universe to his evil will. This is where we also got introduced to the next lot of transformations, one being the underwhelming Super Saiyan 3, then there's Fusion, aka DNA Digivolution, except in the case of Fusion it has a much shorter time limit, and finally Ultimate Gohan, which is a base form looking Gohan with more pronounced hair and facial features. This form made Gohan essentially the most powerful non-fusion character in Z. Super and GT diverge significantly in their approach to how they handle the next iteration of transformations. GT, unlike Super or even Z for that matter, only really has one new transformation, that being Super Saiyan 4. I don't count the Golden Zaru as it is essentially a precursor to reach Super Saiyan 4. There's not really any source material to confirm this, but my assumption here is that the Ozaru forms of Goku and Vegeta in GT took on this golden colour, as they by that point already attained the regular Super Saiyan form. You could even say that Super Saiyan 4 is the true successor to the original Super Saiyan, and what we refer to as Super Saiyan 2 and 3 are simply buffed up versions of the original, and not necessarily new transformations. Anyways, unlike Super, GT makes it clear that Super Saiyan 4 is the final transformation and the pinnacle of Saiyan strength, meaning there's not going to be a Super Saiyan 5, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, or Ultra Instinct for that matter. Even after achieving Super Saiyan 4, Goku never had a breeze of a time taking on new enemies, not even Baby. It makes sense, as Frieza highlighted, the Saiyans were never seen as a species that were renowned for their innate ability to continuously become more and more powerful. The Super Saiyan legend that was spoke of after all was referring to one Saiyan who emerges every 1000 years or so, who has immense latent ability. It's basically referring to the Neo of this universe. I respect how GT made Super Saiyan 4 the ceiling for how powerful the heroes could become, and it also raised the stakes far more than Super did during its run. I mean, yes, GT did have Gogeta who's super OP, but his love for battle and toying with his opponents, just like his Potara counterpart Vegeta, made him much less of an asset during battles. Also, couple that with the 10-minute duration of the fusion, it sort of balanced things out. What I loved about GT was how it had a clear start, middle and end. Every arc transitioned well into the next and are all connected in some way, such as Lord Lude, which turned out to be a machine designed by Dr. Mew with the intent of using it to harvest energy so he could bring his creation Baby to life. There's also the parallels between Dr. Mew and Dr. Gero, in how both met their demise at the hands of their respective creations. After defeating Baby, the next arc has Mew and Gero work together with their mutual hatred for Goku fueling their alliance. Then you have Super 17, who goes on to take the lives of countless humans including Krillin, leading to our heroes attempting to use the Dragon Balls to bring everyone back to life, only to realise the Dragon Balls have cracked due to their overuse. I mean, there was even foreshadowing early on where old Kai calls out how they always seem to rely on the Dragon Balls to clean up their mess. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he said this during the period in which they wished the Earth back after it imploded at the tail end of the Baby arc. I absolutely loved the last arc of GT, as they finally addressed two long-standing issues I have had with this franchise. Number one is the ability for the heroes to undo what has been done via a wish to Shenron, which completely ruins the stakes for me. I'm so glad that the writers turned this on its head by adding consequences to this loophole the heroes have exploited for so long, where they simply fix everything using the Dragon Balls. I mean, every time Z and Super would hint that a character is about to meet their demise, I just think to myself, no big deal. Someone will get a new transformation, destroy the enemy, and the Z fighters will simply wish the deceased back to life. That last part was always such an immersion breaker for me. And now on to number two, which is that I adore GT for finally putting spotlight back on the Dragon Balls, as the show started way back in the 80s, where Goku and a young Bulma were on the hunt for these mythical wish-granting balls, but over the years their importance to the story has gradually declined. GT's writers were smart in the route they took to bring the core Dragon Balls back into the mainline story by highlighting this concept of the energy produced with each good wish being granted also produced an equal level of negative energy which was contained within the balls themselves. The concept is simple and it makes complete sense for the Dragon Balls to have cracked and thus negative energy leaking out of them. The explanation that the constant use of the Dragon Balls prevented the negative energy from dissipating as it naturally would over time makes complete sense. GT does lack in action and choreography, which is certainly a major downside. For me, GT was a swan song to the series, a way to tie things up given the ending of Z left much to be desired. I loved seeing characters like Vegeta settling into everyday life and the clear bond he has with his kids, wife and the wider roster of characters. Vegeta has always been an excellent fighter, but his ego has prevented him at times thinking rationally. The growth he showed in GT is immense. I mean, in what world would you have thought that the moment Vegeta attained the peak of Saiyan ability, he would opt to fight as a team versus on his own? Instead of being arrogant and jumping straight into battle, he would opt to talk Goku down and acknowledge that they are still no match for Omega. To add to this, it was Vegeta, the prideful Saiyan prince, who put his family and friends as well as the Earth before his own pride by suggesting to Goku that they fuse. A part of me wished that Vegeta and the overall wider cast had more screen time, but the screen time they did get was impactful, so there's that. Pan and Goku's relationship is central to GT. It for me was the heart of this story. I know many of you may have found Pan annoying at times, but the way Goku left in order to train Oob, it's only natural for Pan to hold resentment towards her grandfather for leaving, given how close they were. Over the course of this story, we see her mature and we also get to see their relationship heal, where Pan begins to respect Goku again and forgives him for leaving, although it's not explicitly stated. Giru was also an awesome addition, and I was surprised by how much the writers actually made me care for him. I mean, look at the amount of times Giru saved one of them, especially Pan. It just shows how much of an important member of the team Giru was. Plus, Pan and Giru's relationship over the course of GT was quite endearing, especially given how rocky it started off. Yes, there are some issues I have with GT, such as Majin Buu and Oob fusing for good. Even though it makes contextual sense, I for one hated it, as Majin Buu's relationship with Mr. Satan made the champ far less insufferable in my opinion. Plus, just seeing Buu's face and happy-go-lucky positive nature just put a smile on my face each time he would show up on screen. Goten no longer being interested in battling and rather doing more social activities makes sense to me, as Chi-Chi brought him up much different to Gohan. After Goku's passing towards the end of the Cell Saga, she subjected Goten to some vigorous training, so that yearning for battle as he grew older just wasn't there. So it makes sense, as he had gotten older, his interest shifted to other things outside of fighting. But I know many take issue with the route they went with Goten. The one thing GT made crystal clear is that it really was a closing chapter to this long-running franchise. I'll never forget that last episode in which we said goodbye to these beloved characters. It really did feel like the end. As a 10-year-old watching that episode, I remember being flooded with this bittersweet feeling. I also remember feeling overwhelmingly sad. And it was only until I got older that I realised I was grieving for these characters, given that the series had come to a close. Seeing Goku say his goodbyes to his family, Vegeta, Bulma, Krillin, Master Roshi and Piccolo, as well as being shown the flashbacks Bulma had on her journey with Goku, really brought things full circle for me. Then came the 100-year time skip, in which we are all told that the Z Fighters had passed on, besides Pan being the only living member left. I remember at the time this hit me really hard, just the thought of these larger-than-life characters having actually passed on. Witnessing Pan's elation when she spotted her grandfather after all these years was emotional to say the least. The finale ends with showing us Goku one final time with his old flying Nimbus and Power Pole as he continues to watch over the Earth in spirit. There was also a movie which came out for GT in which we follow Pan's grandson Goku Jr.'s journey to find medicine for his aging grandma who had fallen quite ill. The movie does a really good job in explaining how Junior attained the Super Saiyan form, and overall is a heartwarming movie which gives us a look at what life on Earth is like now post the Z-Fighter era. If you guys would like me to cover this movie, let me know in the comments below. GT is absolutely not perfect, and I can see why many fans were not feeling it. For those of you who disliked or absolutely hated GT, the good news for you is that GT is not considered canon. And for those of you who appreciated GT, I highly recommend giving it a rewatch if some time has passed since you last watched it. For those of you who are on the fence about GT, I think in order to appreciate what GT has to offer, there needs to be an adjustment in the expectation of what this show is. You're not going to get crazy action sequences or numerous transformations. What you are going to get, for better or worse, is a much more intimate story which focuses on a smaller number of principal characters than its predecessor. That's it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything else Dragon Ball related you'd like me to cover, you can let me know in the comments below. Also, please do share your overall thoughts on GT in the comments below. On that note, until the next time, this is Ray signing off. Peace.